I am not here to debate with anyone. I have devoted all of my adult life to this subject. I only debate with my equals. All others I teach.
Good morning. Let me tell you something straight up. I'm not playing no more games. Okay? But anyway, shout out to I want the links. I want y'all to go to the links of the description box of this live stream. I got 3 links, but I'm gonna add some more later on. I think I add about 4 links, so there's gonna be a 5th, 6th, 7th, and 8 links below when I am done after this, because I believe I'm going to make some references below. And shout out to MOT. Okay, shout out to MOT. Shout out to Man Tomorrow. But before I go there, let me go ahead and play this clip, play this video that's going to serve as a forward to what I'm saying. And let me check the chat room real quick. Okay, then how about though you hit the link? How about though you hit the link? I'm gonna give you something real quick. I'm gonna drop the link right now, and if you ain't gonna hit the link, then you will be removed. I want you to explain that. I want you to explain that. Anyway, yeah, put that up here. Man of Tomorrow said, I asked BJS what is the point of being ignored, and he couldn't even answer the question. Yeah, and now Man of Tomorrow, what he did to you yesterday evening was the reason why I didn't show up, because I knew he was going to do. See, B just is in his feelings, right? And he's been in his feelings, and he's trying to, see, he took it out on you. He took out his frustrations out on you. And you know what? You know what, man of tomorrow? I'm going to say this. I'm going to say it straight up. I would like to see the three of us, me, you, and Mike V, right? Me, you, and Mike V. We need to find a neutral platform, because I'm not going to BJ's channel, because BJ's got that bitch ass AB and Chaos Reign and Edward. Since Edward is trying to call out Mike V, I think, let me put it like this. I think we should have a debate. That's what I propose. Because I'm not gonna go on no panel with him having seven people jumping on one person. I think B just should pick two people. One, I hope he picks Edward. I want Edward to be a part of, since Edward want to call out Mike V. You know what? If you want to come up on the panel, if you want to come on the panel, you can. You know, if you want to come on the panel, man of tomorrow, you can. Because I won't be just separated from his goons. But at the same time, I only want his closest lieutenants, who, you know, them nut sagging ass niggas who around him. I want him to take the two of his best people versus you, me, and Mike V on a neutral platform. Because he thought, though, oh, I'm just gonna come up there and he's just going to do what he always have been doing. I want him, Edward Anderson. Hold on, let me see. Man, tomorrow's on here. Put him on stage. Hold on. You know what? Hold on. I'm gonna drop this real quick. I'm gonna drop this. Hold on, man of tomorrow. I'm gonna put you. Wait a minute, where's my? Oh yeah, I'm dropped up the overlay real quick. Yeah. Okay. You here? You're on mute.
Oh, sorry about that, man. You know, I'm trying to catch. I'm trying to catch this sunrise. I just made it back home, and I don't come home all that often. I'm trying to catch this sunrise. It look like it's partly cloudy out here, so it look like I'm mess it up. But anyway, yeah, man, like what he did yesterday was just some purely cowardly fucking shit, man. At the end of the day, I just asked him a simple question. I didn't come up there to troll. I didn't come up there to do anything. Because, you know, if you've been on this Itmore shit now for 13 plus fucking years, you got to show us some fucking results of this shit, right? Like, you can't say feminists are the problem at this point. Feminists have never been the problem. Feminists tell you up front, they for themselves, they don't give a fuck about the family unit. Cool. All right. Not for the procreative functions. What else can we fucking organize and own and fucking produce on? That's all it is. But what he wants to do is he wants to spread as much apathy as possible to buck break these dudes into not even fucking trying. That's the whole point. The whole point at this point is to get to people before they realize the actual positive attributes of choice and not getting wrapped up into this red pill bullshit.
Right. And then
I mean, but you know, there's little you could do with the yup crew around. You know, but at the end of the day, you know, just talking over nigga and pretending like you ain't there is some shit that'll get you stole on. In real life, that shit'll get you stole on. Period. But at the end of the fucking day, I didn't come up there for hostile intention.
Right. But you got that bitch ass nigga jaw dick smiles sitting up there snapping snapping at me and shit. And you got AB media. I'm getting really tired of these niggas trying to run interference. They don't know a fucking thing what they're talking about. They're making up shit up as they go.
But you have to realize, man, this is all these dudes are capable of. And think about if you operate from this level of cowardice, because that's what it is. Operating from a level of fucking cowardice. Now, the motherfuckers know I got a channel. They know that my links stay dropped. They know if they had a motherfucking problem with me, they could add me in the motherfucking title and I'll bring my motherfucking ass up there, no matter how hostile it is. I've proven it over and over again. I will go into hostile territory and I will prove that my presence will bring out the inferior black male in you. Because I'm going to ask you simple, basic, smart nigga based fucking questions that's based on outcomes. And if you're not an outcome based thinker, that fucking question is going to throw you for a fucking loop. It's very simple. Why are you here? Okay, dumb niggas, okay, with no experience, they want to listen to dudes with high amounts of apathy. Okay, how's that going to produce good results, man? Where have you seen this shit work? These are questions that we should have answered.
Right. I'm just trying to figure out what he's scared of. I just trying to figure out what would be just as really scared of. He's scared of something.
No, I could tell you what it is, and it's very simple.
Go ahead.
People know that I was a 7-figure person when I came to the manosphere. People knew that I didn't have bitch level issues, and I desired not to have any. Look, these women are only the way they are is because they're flooded with 1,000 bajillion fucking options. And as long as these dudes don't have their shit together, and they expect to be chosen by the women that they fucking want, none of this shit will ever change. But you don't have people who trying to get political, trying to change shit, trying to improve shit in their own life. They just want perfect women. Because a perfect woman is where the shit's supposed to start. So what the actual red pill and the manosphere does, because I don't think the manosphere talking points, I think that's something that you should challenge, or everyone should challenge. 15 years in, have black manosphere talking points and improve the black male condition. Have it. I mean, we created a bunch of bitch ass nigga content creators, but have we really improved the black male condition?
No.
With these, so obviously the answer is no. But they think that dumb niggas having a place to rest their fucking head is success, and I'm like, dude, that's anything but fucking success. At the end of the day, Black America has a dumb nigga who needs self-esteem problem. At the end of the day, the self-esteem comes from the work, it comes from accomplishments. They are simply trying to do all this shit just for the female gaze. That's it. They don't have any other point in position. They're not trying to fix shit. They ain't trying to do anything. And I guarantee you this: you get these dudes access to women, they're going to impregnate that fucking woman and leave her ass with another baby. I can fucking guarantee you. These dudes are going to do the same shit.
Right. And the whole, because it was something you said. It was about the abortion. It was something you said to BGS right before he kick you out. Kick you out. I'm trying to remember what it was.
No. BGS did not kick me off the panel. I left because they was talking over me like some hoes. Like I wasn't even there.
Oh, okay.
When I was just asking basic questions. So he did not kick me off. I left. So
okay, but when you left, though, what was the? Because you said something that I want that bitch nigga to answer. It was something you said. It was very poignant. I won't be just
if you're gonna date the same women regardless of outcome, what are we complaining about here? What are we complaining about here? I said it 3 times. They just start talking over me or whatever. But that's all they can do. Like, they can't deal with reality. You have a bunch of men who cannot deal with reality. The reality of the fact is women require shit nowadays. They are hell bent on the point that they want the same deal that some other nigga got. And man, the 90s are over, man. The days of free pussy have ended. I'm sorry. You're not going to be a part of that crew. Yeah. What you're going to have to do at this point is you're gonna have to produce. But see, they put all their eggs in the basket of game and buck dancing and all this stupid shit, and it ain't getting them no results. So they need people to alleviate them of responsibility, and that's kind of what the Manosphere in general and BGS in specific, as a guy who's 10 years being 65 years old, is actually doing. BGS does not need a society where black men are successful. He doesn't benefit from that. Now he does benefit from and heavily leveraged, by the way, the dumbass professionals who hang around such bullshit. Like when I made that successful remorse stream, how like the one or two people who still hang around this shit because they think they're being connected to black culture is the fucking problem. There should be no motherfucker who have that shit together listening to this stupid shit. And the dumb niggas that are over there, leave them over there. Like the dumb niggas who listen to Obsidian, leave them over there. Dumb niggas who listen to Anger Man and Counter Commentary and Dr. Thunder and all this crazy shit, leave them over there. But they provide a very specific service of highlighting to you what type of mentality a black man is not to fuck with. And that's something that we did not have in the 80s, in the 90s, in the 2000s. I mean, you had rap music that kind of catered towards that dumb nigga crowd, but not the way that content creators are doing right now. I think right now you can easily shoot to the fucking top, especially with all this time equity that these dudes ain't got chasing women. They replaced their chasing women time with sitting here and listening to dumb niggas lament about women that they're not even fucking. That neither one of them are dating. How can you be a sexless guy, 65 years old, a MGTOW monk by his own admission? How do you have a channel that's about relationships?
Facts.
How the fuck is that even possible?
That when he said he was a monk, right? MGTOW monk. Wait a minute, I thought there was levels to MGTOW, right? So wait a minute, I thought the MGTOW monk said no women, no cohabitation, no children. Well, I thought that's probably monkhood. Why are you still talking about relationships? Why are you still trying to do experiments and let's experiment with women and shit, and let's talk about taking women back to the table. Wait a minute, but you supposed to be MGTOW monk. MGTOW monk don't give a flying fuck about that shit. About the table.
How can you be a MGTOW monk with a fucking BGS for Women channel? I thought you were done with this. I thought you were done with this. Like I said, I got simple questions that I can make his fucking check nigga engine light come on. All right? Simple questions. Yeah. And it's like, I've seen parasites like this before. They feed off the broken carcass of inexperienced men. And they do this shit on purpose. And look, at the end of the fucking day, you are responsible for your own fucking outcome. You are.
Let me speak on the MGTOW monks. You know who the people from the MGTOW monks I respect. I respect people like Stardust, Barbarossa, the Thinking Ape. Yeah, the Thinking Ape. He's a MGTOW monk.
You don't the best one. I agree with you.
Yeah. He's the Thinking Ape is the best one out of the MGTOW group. I can spend hours listening to him. He don't even talk about women. He talking about some at all. He's talking about some abstract shit about society and how society is built. He's not like a loser like Jack Dick ass Miles. He's not over there just saying women, do the SBE bullshit. He's over there just talking about shit about life and concepts and shit. Some shit that has nothing to do with what's between a woman's legs or the desire from it. That's only if you want me to talk about me, MGTOW, and who I like from it, it's Stardust. Everybody else ain't shit. As far as I'm concerned, Martin Goldberg, yeah, I might, I'll watch him too. But everybody else, they're some whole ass shit. They really are blue pill ass niggas. They're
blue pill guys spreading apathy about relationship and marriage to inexperienced men. It's just that easy and it's just that simple. And here's the thing: it takes no background to do that. It doesn't take a background to be a parasite. Okay, it doesn't take a background to organize car crashes. It doesn't take a background to do that. It takes a lack of fucking substance and a desire to not see true outcomes in order for this to happen. That's what it is, and that's what BGS hates the most. Is because you can't you can only be a bitch ass nigga and win. Because I got questions, and you can't sit there. Well, BGS can't sit there and fucking answer them, which is fine. But at the end of the day, I'm glad that them dumb niggas are over there. Because look, they can easily have access to a fucking woman and end up ruining their lives. And I know that they don't have good intentions once they get access to more women. I know they ain't got no good intentions. I know that.
But I do have a question I really would like to ask, but I don't know, because if I ask that question, they'll kick me off the panel if I ask this real question though. But
correct.
Yeah.
What they've done, what they simply done is they've ruined the ability to have simple and basic back and forth questions that lead to some type of result or answer. And what they do is they evade the basic and simple responsibility of interpersonal dialogue, because they have a narrative to present. They have a narrative to present, and they have a narrative to actually do. It was like, for example, it was very un-Edwardly to call out Mike V for any fucking reason. Mike V ain't out there jumping on people's panels saying a whole bunch of dumb shit. The point is, when you haven't been streaming for a while, people kind of think that they could just get their shit off, and then don't want to face the backlash of interpersonal dialogue and what actually came here. Because most of this shit, all of it, is a layered form of the inability to solve problems. That's what this shit really is, the inability to solve problems. Like, you became a MGTOW monk and you sought to be around people with no experience. There's something that's very fucking deliberate about that. There's something very insidious and fucking deliberate about somebody who purposefully would stay the fuck away from relationships, but somehow want to minister to men who don't have any experience with relationships. You see, I get down to it. I get straight to the fucking point. The why the fuck are you here point. And where we currently are in society, like, a lot of this shit has been kept up by the actual the sabotage of the pro-black movement, by people who truly didn't want to make any progress. People who truly just wanted to live off of these black male, black woman, black people based problems. These people had no intention on solving these fucking issues. No intention.
It's kind of like the whole, you remember that the cartoon with the sheepdog and the wolf.
Oh yeah.
Type. That's how I view
the blind sheepdog who could barely fucking see.
The blind sheepdog and the wolf, and they over they're punching the clock at the same damn place. And that's how I see black youth. I see them pro blacks, these so-called pro I call them pro quacks, and I see the manosphere, right? And they over there doing all this whole ass shit. And I'm sitting there like, okay, y'all pretend to speak for the people, but then when you start asking questions and start looking at what they doing, they ain't about shit.
I have a question. Is black in the middle Chaos Reign? Because he kind of looked like his symbol. Is that?
I don't
think so.
Man, Chaos Reign, he better shut the fuck up, because he
No. I'm asking a question. Who is black in the middle?
Right.
They seem to be misstating a whole bunch of shit, or maybe just trolling in general. I don't know. Again,
I can tell you
he's not listening to our conversation. He's not listening to our conversation.
Right. See, and that's how with a black in the middle just said, tells me niggas in this space don't know how to have comprehension skills. They don't know how to
have dialogue. What have we said in this conversation that would allow you to think that we're over there for the relationship talk?
Right.
Like, we're trying to explain to you that somebody in his position should never be talking about relationships because he's a MGTOW monk. But see, this is what I mean by the dumb niggering of fucking Black America. Like, people will come in here, they will listen to 5 seconds, and then they'll get the wrong fucking output from it. Like, we're speaking basic English. Like we're not speaking a foreign language. Like, there isn't closed captioning on the fucking screen that's telling you something different than what the fuck we're talking about.
Yeah,
But
also,
as a dumb nigga, but as a dumb nigga, you know, you have to fucking try to pull the conversation toward yourself, and which is kind of crazy.
yeah, like nobody ain't talking about relationships. You're talking about if you were a MGTOW monk, why you talking about relationships? That's the point. That's all what was said.
Yes, that's all we're saying.
This dumb nigga, yeah. If we were talking about relationships, you know, we ain't talking about fucking no women. We ain't talking about no. We ain't over here talking, you know. Oh man, I want to be with Keisha. I want to be with Barbara Rand and shit. We ain't saying that shit. We just saying, man, how can you be a MGTOW monk, which BGS claims to be? How you be MGTOW monk and then talk about relationships? You know, there are levels. There are levels to MGTOW. There's levels to
like
MGTOW.
A quadriplegic doing fucking reviews on marathon runners. Like, what? How? No. Like, bro, I'm happy you got a job, but we need somebody who actually run to fucking cover this shit. Yeah, I mean, Mella wants to come up.
Yeah, I'll let Mella come up, I guess. Put her up, I guess. I hope don't man she on no bullshit. Cause I'm not on a bull. I'm not on some funky ass shit. Cause I'm ready to go to war at this point. Cause it ain't just BGS. It's that bitch ass nigga JD Miles. That bitch ass nigga JD Miles. Let me tell you something, bitch. Don't you ever call somebody a punk when you can't even get on a fucking panel, bitch ass nigga. Anyway, where was I at?
He has to dodge dialogue, but that nigga. Let me ask you a question. No, it isn't the fact that BGS had a bad relationship. It's the fact that he's treating all women as if they only have the ability to have bad relationships. Then they limit themselves to the same type of women that gives them those exact outcomes that they claim that they don't want. That's what the problem is. Because to them, these dumb niggas want a one and done. Thing is, they want a one and done with women that you ain't supposed to be doing one and done with.
They want
any woman that would accept them in their current circumstances is a woman that don't need dick ever, but she gets a lot of it because these dumb niggas, their whole fucking point of existence is impregnating women and not really raising kids. That's their only fucking point of existence.
They want what they want. MOT is the girlfriend experience. They want
GFE.
They want, man, the girlfriend experience. They want the male version of the girl. You watch that TV show, The Girlfriend Experience?
Yeah.
They want that shit.
Yeah.
They want to be male hoes. That's all.
Yes.
They want to be hoes. You know?
TheDefiantLawyers was not spot on. He tried to conflate the actual red pill with a white guy when there's plenty of black motherfuckers who are taking advantage of black people with the red pill. At the end of the day, that white guy, no one even knows who that guy is. But there's a conversation to be had about what's actually happening with the red pill. And that is the weaponization of inexperienced men and actually taking the focus off of their actual own future and putting the shit on the women. That's the real fucking problem.
No, he's not spot on, because now me and MOT gonna disagree on this. Possibly we're gonna disagree, but he's not spot on because he missing a whole lot. He thought that white guy was the originator. No. It's deeper. It's way deeper. Why? But you know how like they always, back in the day, they always talking about black women were welfare queens and shit. Well, that came from Lee Atwater from 1974 when he was Ronald Reagan's campaign manager. Some of this shit, some of these talking points is 50, 60 years old. What Defiant, what's his name? Defiant Lawyer?
Defiant Lawyers. Yeah, Defiant Lawyers.
Yeah, Defiant
That's
Lawyer.
a great channel, by the way. When it comes to politics and political explanation and how black people are being hurt by shit, dynamite fucking channel. But on the red pill, 1000% wrong. But hey, guess what?
Yeah.
Once you're wrong, now you're giving proper information. Now you got to do a motherfucking review or something, or rehash of the issue. But at the end of the day, what it is, because now you see it.
Right, because he's
now,
not.
Once you start to address the yup crew, they start with their fucking insidious trolling and shit, and that's all they got to try to weigh down any conversation, is drawing the focus off the original intent and have it here for a whole bunch of bullshit. But at the end of the day, that's all the power they have. That's it. That's all they got.
But the thing is, though, I wish he was I wish he would talk to people who was in the red pill or around the red pill, who who would tell him who is who, because he putting out that white guy out there. The white guy was like, he's not even 30. He's 30% of, or he's not even 10% of what was going on. That it's more shit out there than just that white dude.
Far more.
Far worse. Far worse.
Way worse.
Than that white dude he was talking about.
Yeah.
You know, and yeah, I just think that he got it wrong. Empty signifier the same way. Empty signifier gets on my fucking nerves. He gets it wrong.
No. But you have to understand. But you have to understand this about these paid agitators. There is something that's going on here, and it needs to be discussed so black people can stop being deceived by this bullshit. There's something to say when somebody wants to criticize the right people, but don't want to ever team up with the right people. Because, see, they keep up the bullshit, too. Like, empty signifier falsely equivocated, like, Kevin Samuels and fucking, who is this, Jordan Peterson as being manosphere, when the motherfuckers are not part of the manosphere, right? Or like, how white liberals, unfortunately, try to put, like, Joe Rogan and Theo Von and most of the white dumb niggas, the white dumb nigga aggregators all in the fucking manosphere, because they can't point shots at certain fucking people, and they don't know how to dialogue either with people they actually fucking disagree with, right? So it says something when they don't want to team up with competent men, but they want to have incompetent men as fucking people to point at. There's something to say about that.
Oh, okay. I somewhat agree with you, because but let's use Jordan Peterson as an example, right? Well, Jordan Peterson may not say he's manosphere per se, but the white manosphere guys will gravitate to him and pick off of him.
Those people are fucking lost. Those people are lost, man. If you look at Jordan Peterson and the shit that comes out of his mouth as something revolutionary, you already got bigger problems that the red pill or manosphere ain't gonna fix. Because what these people wanted was a self-esteem boost. They didn't want to fix nothing. They didn't go out here and be like, oh, okay, leave problematic women the fuck alone. Look at here, I got all this time to get my shit together. Never happened. Never happened.
I'm glad you said that. Hi, everybody. Thank you.
How's it going?
I'm glad you said that all they were looking for was a self-esteem boost. That's pretty much what's being exploited.
Yes.
Yeah, it's there is a population that is in need of a self-esteem boost, and people that can perceive that are exploiting it. And here we are with these terms and channels.
Hold on.
And that's what I want to say.
No, but it's correct.
Somebody got feedback.
I'm hearing an echo.
Yeah.
I have to go on mute whenever you all talk. That'll prevent
okay.
I apologize.
Okay.
All right, cool.
Okay.
No problem. No, we can still have dialogue through it. It's not a big issue.
Yeah.
But like I've always said that this is exploitation of inexperienced men. Because I don't know anybody who cares about their son who would even turn their kid to like Tia Son Johnson to talk to. And when BGS lied and said that Tia Son Johnson is pushing his 18-point agenda, I was floored. I could not believe that he would fucking say that Tia Son Johnson is out here pushing his 18-point agenda when all of his videos are about reviews for movies and trying to blame women and on this emotional labor of black man shit. And it's like whenever I hear a man talk that Tia Son Johnson shit, man, I want to stomp them niggas to sleep. God damn, I hate the existence of weak ass fucking men. It should make your fucking stomach turn.
And that that's I'm glad you brought that up, because that's when you said that, that's when you left, because when he said that and that bitch ass nigga over there cut you off over there, right? Because here's what I would like to ask: if Dr. T, the so-called, I said so-called, that if the so-called Dr. T Son Johnson was doing all this bullshit, right? That 18-point plan bullshit, right? How come you don't see Dr. T Son Johnson at the state legislature at their hearing, or at Congress during a congressional hearing about those 18 plan? You don't hear him on any state capitol in front of a committee hearing saying, well, we're doing this and I'm advocating for this, I'm advocating for that. You don't hear him.
You want to know why? Because he's third party.
Well, tell me.
He's third fucking party. Because he's third party. No one will allow third party people to be part of a conversation. No one who invests in the actual side is going to allow a third party person to come in there. It's kind of like how the disaffected Republicans want to be on this I'm an independent shit. And then they're like, hey, so why don't you just be more independent? Like, no, you got a party. It's called the Republican Party. Don't come in here with your fucking Republican-esque fucking policies and politics and think that we ain't fucking smart enough to figure out that you the same motherfuckers who caused the shit in the first place.
That's a good insight. That explains a lot. Yeah.
Look, these new allies who are allies because of Trump, these motherfuckers are not allies. They're looking for Mitt Romney to do the same shit that Donald Trump is doing right now. Don't be fucking fooled. These people are still your motherfucking enemy. They still got bad cultural fucking inputs and outputs. This shit is in their bloodstream. So I don't need no new motherfucking allies.
It's in their blood. Exactly. It hurts their feelings to see anyone above them. So they're going to do whatever is necessary to keep you below them. That's in their blood. That's how they get down. Our only, I don't want to say hope, but pretty much our only hope, and when I say our, I mean us as a people, black people, you just got to figure out a better way to design the game, as they say. I don't even like to use that word game. That sounds so childish. It's about strategy. It's about tactics. It's about navigating this schematic diagram of deception. And it's about staying focused. And a lot of us get caught up in these relationship topics and become obsessed with it, I would say, as opposed to actually studying the tactics and procedures to enact what it takes to prepare our offspring to be prepared. You have to train your children at this point to be prepared for the long game. It's like we're older now. Like I would love to see a day when, as they say, we shall overcome. At this point, you have to train your children for that. And you can't do that being obsessed with these bullshit relationship topics. Like, just find someone that meets the dimensions of your compatibility. you and build a family and make sure each and every child that you produce in that family is designated in an endeavor that is meaningful. That's it. Like, don't just wing it. Like, mean it. You know what I'm saying? But it's early in the morning. I'm still trying to wake up. I haven't even had my coffee yet. But because I'm glad to see
along with your point.
Say what?
Along with your point.
Okay.
The people who's keeping up the most amount of bullshit are the dudes with kids.
They're the what? The ones keeping up it is who? What?
The people who's keeping up the most amount of bullshit, they do have kids. They do have bad outcomes.
They do.
And they also trying to socialize bad outcomes to inexperienced men. Whether they are doing it under their roof or not, what they're trying to create is more and more broken men. They're not trying to create better men, because most of these dudes are professors, non-productive people, non-blue collar, working class people. They're pretty much part of the educational establishment, and they're just literally interested in creating worse outcomes for their own collective individual benefit. And these are the people who want to walk around with the pluralistic language, talking about our people and all this and community. And these motherfuckers are here to destroy. They're not here to make anything better.
They're bullshit artists. True enough, they're bullshit artists. And to be honest, bullshit artists, they get off on the moment they can laugh at somebody that fell for their bullshit.
Yes.
And that's really sinister and diabolical when you think about it. It's very when you gain the trust of people that's falling for your bullshit, and you find out there's a calamity amongst your flock, and you find it hilarious, and you can't wait to humiliate them with some type of live stream or some dumb shit like that. Like, that's a whole nother level of I never grew out of the trauma of my childhood type of shit.
Correct. They want this fake family where they don't get any type of criticism. And once you betray the trust of the group by asking the simplest of questions, like with PK with BGS, that dude mortgages credibility by staying over there. Now he's on the outs with everybody else by asking simple and basic fucking questions that we've been asking for the past 7 fucking years. But at the end of the day, he was willing to ignore that shit just to sit over there. But that's the problem that I have with people, and I had to learn it. Like I had to lead a church to break this cycle of trusting leadership, and while simultaneously trying to make shit better, when I should have been distrusting leadership, calling out leadership, having my own individual outcomes that's not connected to entertainment or fucking sports related shit. Like, there are no like podcasts for blue collar black people. Like, just purely blue collar fucking. There is no some shit for electricians. There's nothing like that. But at the end of the day,
they're productive.
Oh yeah.
They ain't got time for this dumb shit. They're productive. People who are productive are not doing this.
Yeah.
Word.
I don't know. It's just that most of these people don't understand that the answer has always been here. The answer has just been, don't keep up with the bad outcomes of the previous culture was with. None of people with the bad outcomes.
It's a mistake to start believing in them. That I don't mind listening, but when I observe that people are believing in somebody, like literally believing in them to the point where they're defending their honor and how dare you say this, and they're naming them with these esteemed terms. It's like, come on now. Have you heard of make believe land or not? It's like this is make-believe land. Why are you all taking this shit seriously? I don't get it.
No, but like I said, it's the self-esteem boost that these dudes need. They need to know that everything is not their fault. Everything is the woman's fault. Yeah. It ain't because you ain't got your shit together. It's because the women ain't perfect.
Okay, the relationship thing again. I'm glad you mentioned that. Only because it's very captivating as a topic for a lot of people. What can be said about that is there is a such thing as being lonely in one's own sense, right? Like a person can convince themselves that they're lonely, right? And it becomes this they create that for themselves by virtue of comparing their lives to others. And that's the problem. People are comparing relationships that they view, and there's this envious seed that's planted, and they convince themselves that they're lonely, and somebody has to be quote unquote held accountable for that. Like, nobody's responsible for nobody liking you. It's up to you to develop whatever it takes to adjust to your environment. And perhaps someone who's as quirky and whimsical or off-putting, I would even say, as they are, that there's somebody out there for everybody. Now, in terms of appearance, that's a whole nother factor, because that's a reality too. You can't expect to look like Jabba the Hutt and think that everybody's gonna want to jump your bones. At the same time, there are as traditionally considered unattractive people who pair up with somebody. So these guys that are focusing on these relationship topics, they're doing it on purpose because it attracts the crowd. It's like, I'm lonely. I want to, look behind the curtain as to what I can do to not be lonely. And I think that's pretty much what it is with some of these content creators. They exploit the fact that they know people that have not accept themselves and their reality, and they just want to give them something to support, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, like I said, it's the fake family aspect. Well, everybody's welcome. You know what? There's no minimum level
of standard. But they need somebody to blame. They're blaming women for being lonely,
of course,
as opposed to making the effort to have, introspection, right? It's like, if someone's not attracted to you, there's a reason for that. It's your responsibility to discover why, as opposed to blaming women for it. So a lot of these channels, they don't say that you have to. I think Kevin Samuels did it. I think he was telling men once upon a time, these are the things that you should do to love yourself, and thereby love will come to you in whatever way you're looking for it. I think he was trying to do that in the beginning before he reached the stratosphere and just had to keep up the,
bullshit.
The women ain't shit narrative,
he had to.
I mean, it was lucrative. I mean,
it was. Like a motherfucker.
People do things for money. People do strange things for change. Okay, but initially, I'm not gonna forget that he was introducing to men the image that represents that you love yourself, and a woman can pick up on that. A woman can see that you love yourself, and she wants to know what's that about. Like, what journey did you take to discover love for yourself? And so I think he did men a favor in that regard. But this whole like women ain't shit narrative that eventually made him a hell of a lot of money. You know, I mean,
if that's the case, we don't know.
You do what the money tell you to do.
No, I mean, you do what the popularity tell you to do, and it's like, with Kevin Samuels, like his whole thing was, and he was gonna flip on these dudes. He was gonna have to flip on these dudes at some point, because when he was up there with Nicki Minaj and calling her a 10 and all that kind of other shit, no rational man.
That was the clue, right?
Yeah. He was getting ready to flip that fucking switch to saying from bitches ain't shit to niggas ain't shit. He was that close. If he would have lived just a little bit longer.
He was for sale. He was wherever. Look, he was convinced as a child that he was going to be quote unquote famous. I've spoken with him on before all of this, stratosphere existed.
Oh, me too.
Yeah, and he, just said some very personal things. Like he remembers he ironed his pajamas at night, and his mother was like, "Why do you iron your pajamas?" And he said, "Because somebody might take my picture." He was convinced as a child that his image was going to mean something. And so he was compelled to follow his destiny. And I'm glad you said popularity as opposed to chasing money. You're right. He was chasing popularity. And what came with it was money. And so as soon as somebody popular like Nicki Minaj was entertaining him, yeah, you're right. It was just a matter of time before he flipped the switch.
Oh, no. You have it wrong. Nicki Minaj was entertaining him.
Yeah.
To show how quickly this dude was going to flip. That's why she was entertaining him.
Yeah, no doubt.
To show you that this dude will say that shit to these hoes. I'm a hoe with money and power. You gon' treat me like I'm a fucking queen. And all that shit you talk to them women who ain't shit, talk that shit up here. I end your career in a fucking heartbeat. That's why she let him up there. So that way he could be co-opted. Like that's the thing about these fucking.
So she let him up there to kiss her ass so she could show everybody that he's a flip-flopper.
That's right. Put this nigga on the leash. Yes, that's what that was about.
Now, hypothetically, had he not kissed her ass, he stayed the course. He stayed the course.
He would have been 40 times bigger.
If he would have just smooth cussed her out.
Yes.
Like, I don't give a fuck if you Nicki Minaj. I stand by every principle I've told everybody.
If he had said that.
If he would have did that, what would have happened?
He would have, the fucking internet would have burned to the fucking ground. He would have had
it would have been legendary, right?
It would have been legendary. You would have known where the fuck you were standing. You would have to have gave him the props of what he was doing if he would have did it at that point. The fact that he didn't do it to the actual woman that he should have did it to showed you that this shit was all image in the first place. People want to live behind the bullshit of image. He always relied on the bullshit of image.
Before we go forward, Big J, what do you think about what was just said regarding the what ifs of that Nicki Minaj and Kevin Samuels exchange?
It's interesting concept. It's interesting to hear that. I mean, I never thought about it like that because because when he died, I thought it was just I don't know. I thought he was gonna be another nigga on Fox News, another nigga on Newsmax, peddling the right wing talking points. That's where I thought his.
No. He was gonna have to go there. He was gonna, and look, he was going to have to go there anyway. There's no other place in America for a man to get that hot. Like, he was going to have to be a Stephen A. Smith type. He was going to have to do that shit. There's no other way for it, right? Mm-hmm. He was going to have to do that because
and he would have loved it. He would have loved it. Having his own show, he would have loved it.
No, I wouldn't say though he had a show on Fox. On Fox, I mean, he would be the guest like with Tommy Anton doing right now, going on Fox News every time there's a black issue popping up. You know, every time the black community get attacked by somebody, Anton or Tommy, you know, that come on Laura Ingram's show and shit. That's what I think. What's going to happen? What Kevin?
Some people grow into their presence. That's he grew into, and I'm talking about visually, right? Let's look at what most likely he looked at during his teenage years. You know, people might have classified him as a skinny nerd or whatever, and so here it is. He's growing into an appearance of a well-groomed, trustable image. And I'm talking about looks. I'm just speaking looks. He, without opening his mouth, because I've seen some of those posing pictures, and I was like, if I didn't know him from a can of paint, I would think that he's an upstanding man to listen to. And then you hear what he's about, what he's done, and how it went down. And so then you have questions. It's like, I don't know, is he gay? Is he for real? Is he insane? You know, like, what's really going on with this guy? But it doesn't take away from the fact that a lot of us as human beings, we focus on the visual. And he did present himself. That's why he was saying he's an image consultant. He was an expert in how to make yourself look like you're worth listening to. I remember that interview he did with Vlad. You know, he was so calm, cool, and collected. You know, I was like, that's not even the same quirky guy I talk to on panels. Like he really presented himself in I'm a star you didn't know type of way. Like I think I think he trained himself to be the image consultant guru he always wanted to be. You know, I know there was a lot of controversy attached to his name. There are bad things, good things, and everything in between that I could say about him. You know, when it comes to these online experiences, I just think about, you know, those who are most memorable, like RBR, like, you know, people that have passed on that we were accustomed to keeping up with, you know, finding out what they up to, what kind of outrageous shit is going on with them online. You know, these are people. Now is BGS one of those people? I'm still trying to quit. I'm like, is BGS the type of persona that we're gonna miss? I'm thinking about that, like, because
I would.
That's what I'm saying. Like, are we gonna miss BGS when he's gone? Are we really gonna miss him?
All right. Okay, so
there's some people that we miss, and then there's some people like, yeah, you know, it's like it never happened. I'm just trying to figure out where he fits in.
We need to clear up this record on the Kevin Samuels shit. He wasn't doing positive shit. He wasn't. what he taught with the image piece is that you don't need no fucking substance. You don't need substance. You could just overly rely on a fucking lie that you have to fucking sell to people. Mostly fucking idiots. All this shit you could have learned somewhere else. So when people have all these positive attributes, I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about? This is what organizing car crashes, trying to dust off and give women game on how to get more dues that they shouldn't be qualifying for in the first place. Now, don't get me wrong, those women wanted to be highlighted and be on that fucking show. But let's not kid ourselves about the positive things this motherfucker was doing. He wasn't. And I don't give a fuck if you did go to that actual page to go get with another thirsty motherfucker to get married. You could have easily met and settled with somebody without Kevin Samuels.
Okay. Fair enough.
No, but that's what I'm saying. It's just that his image was not based on substance. His image was based on bullshit. You cannot repeat Kevin Samuels' path or track record. You can't. Bullshit yourself until you're 50-something years old, and then you tell a far younger woman, like the actual young woman that you left behind in your own household, that she ain't shit, and all of a sudden you become famous for doing so. That's what I'm talking about bullshit substance. And if it wasn't so many broken fucking men who actually needed to fucking see that, it would have just been another comment on a fucking show. But there's so many dumb motherfuckers who did need to see that shit.
MOT, everybody has their secret life. You know, that's the thing.
What?
The online persona, I'm serious. The online persona that someone cultivates and develops and invests time in doing so is intentionally different than what their actual day. Like, for instance, somebody could be talking about the well-being of children, but they're cussing out their daughter, you know, and son, and God knows what, you know, like, and they don't deserve credit because they are of low character, right? They don't deserve credit, but they do what they can to hide that intentionally. So
I know, and that's what Kevin Samuels did with the image piece.
I've not ever said that Kevin Samuels was a quote unquote good person. I've not ever said, because I know better. I know he wasn't a good person. What I'm saying is that when it came to how he finessed everybody into believing.
Okay. So let's start.
He finessed
let's
people.
Let's stop right there.
Okay.
So he's a bullshit artist. So we can't say anything positive about him ever. He's a bullshit artist. Image is bullshit. Image without substance is fucking bullshit.
Who isn't a bullshit artist though, MOT?
Oh my God. Everybody's a bullshit artist?
Everybody.
No, everybody ain't no bullshit artist.
I'm cynical as F. Everybody.
Cynical doesn't mean you're a deliberate bullshit artist.
Okay.
Wait, hold on. I'm back. But how can everybody be a bullshit artist?
That's what I'm saying. Like that's how
no one is broadcasting their 24-hour lifestyle. They are just demonstrating what they believe is profitable for you to hear. That's it. That's why I call everybody bullshit artists online.
No,
everybody. They're doing it for profit. How many people are actually on here without the intent to benefit themselves?
Me.
Well, I gotta resubscribe to your channel, MOT. I gotta resubscribe. Put the link in the chat or the back chat. I gotta resubscribe because I want to hear this shit. I want to hear. I want to hear how you're not a bullshit artist. I want to hear that.
Wow.
Because while you're sitting up here making accusations and pronouncements, right? You're critiquing people to the zenith of critique.
Yes,
I want to hear
shit wrong.
I want to hear your integrity, sir. Your untainted, your stainless integrity. I want to hear your stainless integrity, MOT. That's what I want to hear. So please allow me, with your permission, to subscribe to you, and I'm gonna listen in. No, I don't have the link. Can you please provide the link to your channel, please?
Ma'am, search
for I gotta do homework. I gotta do the work. How benevolent of you, MOT. How benevolent of you.
What's going on here?
Never mind. Okay, I'm going on mute before Big J kick me off.
I'm really confused. Hold on. I'm really confused on this bullshit. Everybody's a bullshit artist. Okay, then if everybody's a bullshit artist, okay, then can you name what MOT or myself are bullshitting about? If we are,
I can honestly say that when it comes to you specifically, Big J, you are fueled by anger, and you entice people to be angry with you, and by that, you're a bullshit artist. Why are you obligated people to be angry just because you're angry?
Hold on. I gotta say something.
Okay, baby. And you know I care about you. I even sang to you, so I care about you. I just wanted to be honest. That's all.
Okay. The only thing you're right was the first one. The second part is bullshit. What you just said. Yes, I am an angry person. But I never said everybody be angry with me. Because there's some heads I really want to see chopped off, like that punk ass nigga named Jock, what's his name? Jaw Dick Smiles. I want his head on the fucking lance. I want Edward Anderson's head on the fucking lance. I want the bitch ass nigga from the Viper Pit head on the fucking lance. Because you don't even know, Mel, about why I came back. See, I left Black YouTube a long time ago. I came back to Black YouTube because Reg and the Viper Pit teamed up with a white dude calling CPS on Sansa Ray and other black women online. That's why I came back to Black YouTube. I was far long gone from y'all in 2017. I just came back in 2017 because I swear the shit I saw I did not like.
Yeah, that was a terrible moment in history to see people go after that woman to the extent that they did. I didn't know they called CPS on her. I thought her mother was taking care of the baby, but I do recall the guy that. You know, it was a whole thing to the point where she faked her death and all kinds of crazy shit. Right. That was I remember that episode.
And let me say this. I don't like Sansa Ray. I think Sansa Ray's a no good ass bitch her damn self. But the problem is, you don't call no goddamn CCPS, and you got a white dude doing it, and you got Reg and them niggas surrounding them. Oh, you're cheerleading that shit on. That's why I came back. That's why me and Reg had a beef. It was over that shit. Because I didn't like that shit at all.
I simply knew where she was, called the coroner's office. The shit wasn't true. I dropped it. Didn't say nothing. Didn't make no live stream on it either. It's very easy. but at the end of the day, because I like this kind of conversation. It's just that when you say that everybody's full of shit, you know how much you have to drop your guard to actually accept all the shit that people do in order to make that statement. Like, you have to make some type of a moralistic stand so that way you don't end up that apathetic to think that everybody's full of shit. Like me, I can guarantee you, other than one dumb niggas destroyed, there is nothing that you have on me that I'm full of shit about. Nothing.
Yeah,
everybody hates me for the same reason.
I'm still waiting on that one shit on though.
I'm thinking that it's my defense mechanism. So that's why I made the blanket statement. It's my defense mechanism. If I go, let's say that I'm compelled to be captured and enchanted and believe in what somebody's saying. Throughout the time span of a decade or maybe more that I've experienced personalities rise and fall, I've developed a defense mechanism where it's probably best for me to think that everybody's full of shit. That's my defense mechanism. So I apologize that I made, a blanket statement such as that, when in fact it's simply my defense mechanism. It's my thing. Okay, everybody's not full of shit. It's just my thing. It's my defense mechanism. Because in the event that I'm captivated to the point where, like, wow, this person is amazing. They're dynamic. They're telling the truth. Just to find out that they're a human being like anybody else, full of flaws that could show at any given moment. So it's my defense mechanism. I hope you forgive me.
No, it's fine. It's fine. It's just that. All right, let's just move on. It's fine. All right, but what I'm saying is that there's a record that clearly has to be brought here. At the end of the day, Black America has a problem, a huge problem, and it is a learned environmental issue of accepting bullshit artists, of accepting street people, of not upholding basic fucking standards, of not fucking caring, and willing to spread apathy and not take sides and not fix shit and support the wrong motherfuckers and then want to claim that they're for the group. I know what people don't like about me. I think the street image, you should be laid hands on. The moment you put your hat on sideways, the moment you look like a hip hop artist, you should be stomped to death. Off world. You should be taken offline. The moment you display that fucking Nazi's uniform, you should be taken off mainline. Rappers and entertainers are not our fucking group of people. They became that because people allowed themselves to not compete in society with everybody else and to use past traumas of people who actually did go through shit as the reason why you ain't doing shit in life. Not you as the person. I'm just talking about in general. And that's what we kind of dropped the ball.
How that evolved, right? How people lost appreciation for instrumental talent, like instruments. When's the last time we actually listened to instruments being played? But that's no longer the thing. What happened is that being a wordsmith is prioritized over time.
That's what I'm saying.
And to the point where that wordsmith can say anything insinuatory and we'll accept it because we've become groomed into it, right? We've been, it's like, well, it's a good beat. It's a good beat. I hear people listening to the strangest, crazy stuff. And I'm like, did you actually hear what they're pronouncing, what they're saying? And it's like, it's got a good beat. That's their excuse for listening to that asinine crap. It's got a good beat. And I think it's sad that we've gotten to the point where did you know that with this new course of so-called music, pardon me, I really cough online. You all record that. But anyway, my point is, apparently children who are being influenced by this music are left with no choice. When's the last time you heard something that you could play for your child? When's the last time you were able to buy a CD or a DVD or download some music that's constructive and inspirational and positive for a child?
That's about environmental control. You cannot allow society to be fucked up, and it's like no, my child's gonna be fucked up because society's fucked up. You have to choose as a choice to make that very deliberate that shit's not gonna happen. Like in Mississippi, dude, there's a ton of shit going on, gangs and all types of shit. My family decided, you know what? Shit's too hot out here. We moving out here to the country. This is how you fucking act. So when we reintegrate you back into society, you can know that these people are not to be respected or fucked with or trusted or respected or nothing.
And it was environmental. Yeah, you got to tell your children that. You got to tell your children what the deal is. You can't just think they're going to be okay. You have to tell them what's right and what's wrong. Audibly tell them. Not just leave it up to them to figure it out. You have to audibly tell them.
And you have to audibly and actually create the actual environment for them. They knew damn well that where we were at, no, we need like another safe playing ground where we can get this foundation right before reintroducing people back into society. It's like in Mississippi, if you ain't got your shit together around people, they put your ass in the country. They put your ass in the country around 3 miles of fucking beans. If you can't act right and get this shit done by yourself, then you're not gonna be around people. That's what it was. They took motherfuckers out of that fucking situation and put their ass in the middle of fucking nowhere. So where you couldn't be a problem with anyone else. And then
what were they doing? Having kids. What were they doing in the middle of nowhere?
No. They learned how to have responsibility.
Oh.
And do work. Okay, you want to be a grown up? You think you got the shit figured out?
You got to grow your own food type of stuff?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I was just
out there in Illinois. And go get it done. Because like once they get out there and start realizing that everything is actually on them to solve their own problems, it's real easy to integrate people back into society once they learn their fucking lesson. Now, some people may never learn that fucking lesson, but that whole time of fucking solitude and actually this shit is on me and no one's going to help me but me, and these are the fucking standards that you have to fucking live by, and if you can't do this shit, then you just gonna fucking starve. Everybody ain't been put in those type of positions.
Yeah. The conveniences of modern life is to be appreciated. What I do or have done is imagine, right? Imagine those circumstances. Like, while I'm sitting up here going to 7-Eleven for whatever the hell I want around the corner, there are people that are in the middle of nowhere trying to figure out how to dispose of their solid personal waste. You see what I'm saying? Like, they don't even have a fucking toilet. They don't have running water, none of that shit. And I was trying to imagine what that would, like how aggravating that would be, knowing in comparison there is convenience in the world. So that's a brutal fucking blow. Excuse my language. That's a brutal blow because you can compare. But if there was no comparison, like if a person, was just put into that situation, they had no idea that conveniences exist, then is it really trauma? I think trauma is rooted in comparison. I know that sounds cold-hearted, but I broke it down to a fraction. I was like, if you didn't know anything outside of what you're experiencing exists, is it really trauma, or that's just how shit is going down? And that's what you're dealing with, and that's what it is. What do you think about trauma?
I think most of this trauma is chosen as an environment, is socialized into an environmental choice that they have to go through.
Okay. I got another thought about Arrested Development. It is my belief that when a person experiences something shocking, whatever age that happens, that's what they're stuck with in their mentality for the rest of their lives until they can be, coaxed out of it. Like until they can develop an understanding that you can leave that behind now. You can put that in a compartment of your mind that you don't ever have to unlock again. Until they experience that, they're going to be stuck. Say, for instance, a young girl finds herself pregnant at 13. She goes forward with delivering the child. That is a shocking experience to be bestowed that level of unexpected responsibility, right? And so fast forward, this woman 20 years later, maybe she's had a couple of the children along the way, but what happens is there's something about her conversation that reminds you of a child that's stuck. She still sounds like she's 13. You understand what I'm saying? And so, because I'm not going to sit up here and give boy, experiences because I'm not male. But what I can say as a woman, I've known teenage mothers, and they have a different way of expressing themselves that's unlike someone who hasn't been a teenage mother. And so I was wondering, as men, would you afford me the privilege to get insight on whether or not that relates to some things that boys have experienced? Like, for instance, my own brother was jumped into a gang, in his preteen years. And I can only imagine, and I've researched this. I was trying to figure out, like, what does it take, for somebody with a loving home to eventually wind up being a conservative vice lord in the city of Chicago? Like, how the fuck does that happen? Because best as I can recall, objectively, he was cool. But then all of a sudden, he's doing this gang shit. Like, what this come out? What happened? And so I studied it and tried to figure out what's the pathway of that. And the circumstances of boys in metropolitan cities experiencing quote unquote shocking experiences is relevant, as well as what girls who encounter shocking experimes, like becoming a teenage mother.
Yeah, but that's like a lack of design. Let me let me give you my.
It's too late to blame the parents at that point.
Yeah, but no. It's two things. It's an environment-based issue, and there was something else. Like I fell into that gang shit too when I was like in 7th grade and shit. Like, once we came back.
Okay, tell us, how did that happen?
Okay. And so, there was just nobody around. Like, in the country, everybody worked. But once I came to the city, there was a whole bunch of useless niggas around the fucking neighborhood. Like, for instance, all the MOTs were at work. All the BGS IMORs were the niggas in the fucking community while everybody else was at work. So you were around a whole bunch of bitch ass niggas, and the only thing they were doing was getting young dudes to go sell dope for them. Just using motherfuckers. And I had to realize, once I entered this gang shit, Not only did I want to kill everybody in my gang, I wanted to kill everybody in their gang too, and I wanted to kill everybody who would even be a part of this shit, because this shit was a system of exploitation by older people onto younger people under the guise of a family structure. I figured out very quickly the only thing that we were really fighting for was dudes going across town trying to get some ass. They'll get jumped, and all of a sudden the whole neighborhood's on fire because a dude was trying to across the city trying to get some ass, or trying to sell drugs in some fucking community that he know he shouldn't have been around. So we're pretty much taking up for unscrupulous people under the guise of a family structure and culture. And we would be in front of these people and just be like, hey man, these are our enemies. I'm like, okay, so why do we get these guns? We got all these knives. We talk all this shit. Enemies right here. We ain't trying to kill them. Why? Then it became the fact that no, we just got to keep up, the bullshit. And it's like, maybe all you motherfuckers need to go. And it's like, and that's what it was. I came to notice, like I said, without enough respect for, like, because working class people just wasn't around, and all those people in those communities was those type of dudes, and those are the people that was around the majority of the children all the time. There was no control on the environment, like in the country. There was a very strict control over the environment.
All right.
And somewhere else, like the city, or was considered a city in Mississippi, as small as it was compared to the country. Yeah, it was different, way different, far different.
All
And
right.
that's what it was.
All right. Okay, thank you so much.
So you can get socialized off into some bad shit just by having the wrong type of men around. And that's what it was in my case. The wrong type of men were around. The wrong type of men had way too much access to children to be seen as cool and all that shit while the working class people are at work.
Yeah,
and then turn those kids into actually hating working class people. And it's positive and all this shit to be in a gang and all that crazy shit. That's what it turned into.
Yeah, and then though, you also got them niggas who's on the street corner, who sit outside of the liquor store. You got them niggas all day long talking, and they trying to rap and rhyme to them kids and shit. Giving them false information. And that's how I view old niggas like bitch ass BBBGS. He just nigga at a
he would have been one of them guys sitting in front of the storefront.
Yeah. Like Melon. It's just the digital liquor store. Yeah, the manosphere is the digital outside the liquor store conversation with the light on, trying to holler at every woman going into the store. That's what the manosphere is. That's what it is. Yeah. Glad you noticed.
I'm your mama. I'm your daddy. I'm that nigga in the alley. I'm your pusher, man.
Yes. No one Goldie said,
you know what? Is a pusher, man.
No one Goldie said that you're not shutting down my business. I will help you get rid of a lot of stuff, but you're not shutting me out of my business. Their business is shutting down the creativity of the people. That's their business. It literally is their business. Their business model is being the white supremacists that other white supremacists can't be. They don't even have the access to the kids that they do. Yes, they don't want to see successful black people. That's why they do everything that they can to make sure nothing fucking works.
Oh man! And you know what resonates with me about that is how he talks about how he was a sharecropper with his mother down south, and it's like, why are you telling people that? What's the point of saying that? It's because he's letting you know where he's coming from. It was like, if you haven't walked in my shoes as sharecropper with my mother, I don't give a fuck about you.
Yeah, but who are we talking about?
BGS.
BGS. No. He's a digital sharecropper.
BGS was a sharecropper with his mother.
No. He's a digital sharecropper now. He can't sell his southern experience.
Now he's a digital sharecropper.
Yeah.
We cannot sell that.
He got somebody in the office, but
carry on. I'm back. Sorry about that. No, it's just that. No. What it is that the shit he's doing now it doesn't come with the sharecropping background. My grandparents were fucking sharecroppers, right? Yeah, and it's like people with sharecropping backgrounds don't grow up to have bullshit kids who don't want progress. That doesn't come from a sharecropping background.
Okay, explain that to me.
Okay. If you have a sharecropping background, you know how it feels to not have access to opportunity. You know how it feels to not have access to banking. You know how it feels to not even have access to productive society. No one in the sharecropping environment grows up to be as big a problem than the whites that were in society at the time to their own group of people. Nobody in the sharecropping environment grows up to do that. So the sharecropping shit is just a fake way of pretending like he's blacker than he actually is. It's a goddamn shame if he grew up in a sharecropping environment, because BGS never talks about his grandparents. He never talks about his parents, ever, at all. Because there's no parents that would be proud of a sexually 65-year trying to make sure other men don't have proper fucking experiences by deliberately focusing on the wrong ones. No parent would be proud of that shit. No parent.
I guess what I'm highlighting is his "you can't tell me nothing" attitude.
No. His "you can't tell me nothing" attitude is about everything. It doesn't mean that it's about sharecropping. It means everything. Because what BGS hates more than everybody else, because he's a self-taught chemist, he doesn't have a degree. What he is he's already great.
That's what I'm saying. He knows people with credentials, formal education credentials, but he goes out of his way to prove that he's just as good in terms of knowledge with those people. He goes out of his way to do that. That's not how it works.
No, he goes out of his way to lie about that. You can't go out of your way to prove something that you don't have a background in.
Man, like when he told everybody he was a chemist, I'm like, nigga, then where is the doctor when he got doxed, when Grandmaster Troll doxed him, how come there was no doctor near his name? If you
that doesn't really matter. What matters is that you can't call yourself a self-taught chemist and be taken seriously in society anywhere. Okay? Why don't you go show up at Dow Chemical or Bayer and tell them that you are a self-taught fucking chemist? You put that shit on the fucking resume and see how quickly your ass get called back. You never get called back.
Yeah, that's equivalent to me claiming that I'm a psychologist and I don't have a degree. You know, in that, and it's absurd. It's like you have to, you have to give that disclaimer. To be honest with you, it's like I'm not a psychologist, but I'm just saying, because you may know some things, you might even have some revolutionary ideas that no one's ever conceived. However, it is necessary to give that disclaimer that you are not formally educated in that field of study. It's necessary to do that, or else people are gonna think you're bullshit.
Yeah, but you can't go around.
But he doesn't give that disclaimer. He makes it seem like I'm the greatest, and that's all you need to know.
I know. Qualified, trained personnel are a threat to him. Think about that. Qualified, trained personnel are a threat to people who haven't done anything with their fucking life. Okay? He wants to be seen as serious as a person who put in enough hours to be a doctorate. I'm not talking about T.S. Johnson or Dr. Thunder or fucking Ron O'Neal doctorate level bullshit. I'm talking about substance, science-based things. He thinks being a bullshit artist is a science that is to be respected by people. Ace, I understand what you're saying, but guess what? If you want extreme results, you got to have some extreme actions. Because I can tell you right now, the dumb nigga is not in full circulation around me. Hell no, we got some fucking standards here. We got a point to where we trying to fucking get to. Look, you looking for an easy time? This ain't the place. I can guarantee you that.
Hey, we got a new panelist. Nice to meet you.
Good morning.
I'm Melanie.
Big J, you sound like you about to fall asleep.
Now, I've been up all night because I really want to give me a plane ticket to a certain state and whoop somebody's ass. I have to put that last live stream on private because Huh?
You've been letting these people get under your skin again.
I can't stand a suck ass nigga. I have to put that video on private because I really want to get a plane.
Hey, but you have to understand, man, that these people are cowards. This is how cowards act. When you don't have the actual knowledge to be able to challenge people, like when I went up there yesterday on BGS's platform and I asked him a simple fucking question, like, what the fuck is the point of being an Itmore? He fucking lost his shit. He had to act like a petulant fucking child.
Right.
Because he can't answer simple fucking questions. You've been here 13 years. Okay, you gathered some of the dumbest niggas known to mankind to have them fucking listen to you. You know what kind of torture fucking existence that is? The only time you can open your fucking mouth is to have a bunch of dumb niggas there. You have to make feminists who don't want to fuck with you or anyone else to be the fucking victim or the enemy. Do you know what type of tortured existence that is? To be a sexless man, but you got to go find reasons to talk about relationships. Do you know what type of tortured fucking existence that is? You admit freely that your kids ain't shit, and you're doing other things to make sure other people's kids ain't shit.
Hey. Don't bring the children into it.
These are adults. These are not children.
Okay, I hear you.
Okay, to his own admission, if you're gonna be on this level of bullshit that you're trying to socialize into other people, you better make sure you got some rock solid motherfucking results. But if you do not have those rock solid results, and you're trying to just be right on panels and show dumb niggas how to be cowards, because dumb niggas, like I said, want a self-esteem boost. They want to seem like they're winning in society. They don't understand how women don't want to be with broke niggas right now. They don't understand it. They need somebody to process it for them. What he is a dumb nigga processing field. He takes reality, processes it into dumb nigga, and feed it to dumb niggas. That's what it is.
I remember the time he said that black women should have just died with the kids.
What context?
It was in the context of getting welfare.
No, I'll
yeah, it was some statement. It was a response where people explained to him that when faced with having to feed a child that a man couldn't provide for, of course a woman is going to accept government subsidies and food subsidies and welfare, and his response was, no, that BGS was saying this.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, BGS.
All right. You have to understand that.
He was saying that, well, they should have just died.
All right. So let's understand that the type of men and women that BGS is talking about. BGS is talking about women that never should have had kids, who probably never should have had any type of intercourse with that type of person. A kid was created. Because what they want to do is they want to soil all women in society. That's what they want to do. They want to impregnate all women in society to give them no choice but to deal with the dumb nigga outcomes. That's their intended goal. That's why their shit is always about relationships, because they
want women to suffer.
They do.
Because in fact, and oftentimes these are men that have absent fathers. They think Their mothers are responsible for quote unquote driving their fathers away, and they want women to suffer. You know, my life would have been better with my daddy in my life had my mama not drove him away. And that's the way they look at it. So they want women to suffer.
No. You are right, but here's the thing. They want women to suffer because they're not winning. They see a single woman with money and having her shit together as a loss for a man like them. A man like them, like they want affirmative action for dumb niggas. That's what they really want. They really want affirmative action for dumb niggas. That's what they want.
That's hilarious. Somebody needs to write that book. That would be a bestseller. Affirmative action for dumb niggas. On sale at Barnes and Nobles right now.
I'm not lying. They want access to the best job for no fucking training. They want access to the best fucking women with no fucking background. They want the best access to everything. And they want you to go work for it while they hang out and talk about women. Because see, a dumb nigga is already always coming into his greatness. Someone else just have to do the work and then turn the reins over to their dumb ass, right? And I keep telling people, the dumb nigga is his own group of people. They're not a part of blackness. They are a subsegment of blackness that want to take over, but they don't have the present skill of mind to create anything in order to take over.
Mm-hmm.
These are nothing but dumb nigga bullshit.
Unfortunately, that's true.
And here's the thing. Be glad that they're not producing. Be glad that they can't get a job. Could you imagine how much more fucking dangerous these dumb niggas were if they were making $150,000 a year? Whew, we would have a whole bunch of problems. Thank God that they don't know how to produce and they have no interest in it. That's the only thing that's keeping
a bold statement, MOT. That's a bold statement.
And speaking about BGS, right? It goes against the term ITMOR. ITMOR stands for in perspective, keyword, the I. In perspective, black men of reform.
When was he in perspective and when did he reform? Like,
right, exactly.
I'm asking for a friend.
Exactly. In perspective, he's not reforming. So where is the reform part, BGS? Where is the in perspective? Because it's always the black woman's fault. It's always the bitch's fault. Yeah. It's always the bitch's fault. Like, nigga, what about you? You know, just like when me and him was going at it about DNC, right? The nigga kept talking about DNC. Oh, DNC is an abortion. Women not all DNCs are abortion. DNC is when women have miscarriages or, some other shit happening, right? Blah, 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 blah. So the niggas, he slipped up.
There's a technical definition, and a woman would know a lot more about that more than men. I listened to that whole, you know what? I was thinking about Big J, about playing that entire segment by itself of May just asking BGS simple questions and how he acted like a fucking 2-year-old. Whenever a legitimate question was asked, and he did the same shit to me when I came up there.
And that's why I didn't show up, because I knew he was gonna do that whole ass shit. Because he did that to that shit. He did that shit to me five other times. You think I'm gonna come over there again and allow you to do that shit to me? Hell no. I know what you want to do. Shit.
And again, dumb niggas need that self-esteem boost. They need that self-esteem boost of legitimate people on that whoop that trick bullshit. Like dumb niggas need to see legitimate people be lambasted and lampooned. There is a market for that. That's the market he's serving. He know he's serving that fucking market.
Right.
He ain't crazy. He's very specific and deliberate with what he's doing. Like the people who choose to align themselves with him or be around him for the group of period of time to get the dumb niggas to be over there with him. So now we have a 24-hour dumb nigga network where dumb niggas can tune in to actually get away from reality nearly 24 hours a day. That was the whole point. To create an AM talk radio for dumb niggas. And they succeeded.
What's so funny about this though, when I was talking, how this recent interaction started, I wasn't even talking about him. Wasn't even talking about that bitch ass, that two-faced ass nigga AM. I was talking about a white dude. Me and Angelica here was talking about Andrew Wilson, the white dude. So the nigga got offended when we talking about a white manosphere dude, and he trying to make it about him. Nigga, shut the fuck up. Like,
I'm sorry, what? Who tried to make what?
Oh, okay. You remember the guy at AB that showed up over here?
Yeah.
That's how the whole beef got started between me and B Jess.
Oh my God.
You see how stupid it is? We was talking about a white man. I want y'all to know we were talking about a white man. So AB decided to talk shit in the chat room. So I gave AB the link. AB showed up over here. So AB got his ass clowned by May. May went here and clowned his ass. May and Femi clowned him. So he went back to his channel, called me all sorts of simps and shit, talking about I'm looking for pussy from Angelica and May and Femi. I'm like, nigga, you the one who coming here on some false information shit, got cooked and roasted. I ain't say a fucking thing. But and then though he ran into B Jess with the shit, and B Jess decided, and then I know it was Edward Anderson, because God did mention Edward's name. Edward Anderson came on. He attacked me. He did a video to me, and he did a video to Mike V. And I'm like, well, nigga,
who doesn't bother anybody.
Yeah, who doesn't bother anybody.
I mean, so the AB guy, I think he just came up here unprepared, right? He came in.
No. That's his lifestyle. Like, you're not looking at something that's not out of the ordinary. This is an unread, unwell guy. There's nothing about the look of AB Media before he opens his mouth that says, this nigga got it all in line. Then he opens his fucking mouth and lets you know this nigga ain't got it all in line. Like, this dude purposefully.
I mean, yeah, I kind of figured that out
by this space. Purposefully was given a voice by this space, and they love the space for that, because it allowed dumb niggas to talk without feeling the embarrassment of being a dumb nigga. That's what it is.
His overall defense was that, what they do, I guess, meaning red pill manosphere dudes over there in his sector, they do a lot of male self-improvement. So we looked over the channels, and a lot of it just seemed like woman bashing. And I was just like, so where's the self-improvement?
Yeah. Because what happened was I showed B just got about 6 channels, right? He actually got 7. So he got one where he strictly talking to white people. See, me and B just know each other from the white side of the manosphere. See, I came from the white side, right? So that's how I knew. So he had a channel called Black Guy Not Speaks. That's when he mainly talking to white men. That's how I knew him. But anyway, nonetheless. So where was I saying? So anyway, we was talking, and I was showing all the videos, every channel he did, and then I showed AB's channel, and I said, okay, look at all the videos B just made. I went from one B just channel to another B just channel. Women, and about 5 channels is about women. I said, and then I told AB, you said self-improvement, but look at all of B Jess's channel of videos. Then I went to AB's own channel. I said, nigga, let's look at your channel. What are you talking about on your channel? Women, SBE, the black bitch. Whoa. Where's the self-improvement? So he got mad. He went to his channel, tagged me, called me a dumb simp ass bitch who's trying to get Angelica's pussy. Then though, yeah, he actually said all that shit on his channel on the live stream. I'm trying to fuck Angelica. And I'm trying to fuck May. I'm trying to fuck Femi. He got all bitch made. Went over there, and then BGS came over here with his, his knight in shining armor ass nigga. He came up there trying to fend AB. And Ever Anderson, because the question I proposed to, if you was self-improving AB, how come you didn't help your boy Edward Anderson when he ran his car off into that ditch?
Is that true? Did he really run
No,
his car off the road?
No. It's true. It's true. No, it's true. It's true. He ran.
Shit.
It's true.
It's true. So he SBE'd his way into a fucking ditch.
Bruh.
Holy shit.
This shit was hilarious.
Oh, wait,
bruh,
was he actually talking to a woman or was he just talking to men?
Talking about a woman and can't keep his eyes on the fucking road.
Bruh. I'm going to tell you what happened.
I'll mute up.
No, mute for this man, because I gotta tell you, he was doing a live stream. He was yelling, "That black bitch, blah, 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 blah," ran into a ditch, right? So he went off the Curbert, right? You know the Curbert part. He was ranting so hard that he went into the ditch. He ran off the road. So one wheel was spinning because he kind of went in an angle, huh?
The car was tilted and like one wheel was up in the air.
Yeah. The wheel was dangling. Right?
Anybody has the video clip?
I gotta find it. I think
please
Super Sly got it. Super Sly got it, but I think Super Sly got it, and I think Ty City got it. Because we were talking, everybody was talking about it on Sly's channel. I'm listening to it, and you know what, man, the nigga did. The nigga ended the video, started another video, and proceed. No, he waited for Triple A to pull his ass out of the ditch. Do you know the nigga still went ahead and start SBEing black women as he waiting for the goddamn car to be pulled out?
But
that
okay, so how is SBE effective if you're not actually talking to women? Like how is it applicable? How can you use it in practice when there's no woman around to SBE to?
Yeah, but it's kind of like
it's just venting. Like
Clint Eastwood was talking to that empty chair, and there's supposed to be Obama in the chair. Like that's what these dumb niggas are doing.
Obama in the chair is funny.
Yeah, like the whole
to me.
Like the whole attacking Obama shit. Yeah. They was on that. They was on that attacking Obama. They're attacking Obama's wife. Michelle.
Well, why were they mad with Obama?
Because Obama did something. Obama.
He's black.
Obama. The first family represent something that they cannot attain.
Okay, so he's
that black genius.
He's a black man, and he's the president, so therefore we must be mad with him.
No. Like when these people talk, like what they're actually saying is Obama didn't do anything for niggas. He didn't do anything for dumb niggas.
BJ, can you turn up MOT's mic if you can? Please.
You can do that?
Yeah.
You have volume controls, yeah. He should, I think.
What did I do? Excuse me. I'm sorry. What do y'all want me to do?
His volume is low. MOT's volume is low when he speaks. And I was wondering if you have controls to increase his volume.
Oh, okay.
Thank you.
Am I good now?
I don't know if MOT knows how to increase the volume.
I did. I went to more settings.
There's when you go to the more and you go to the mic settings, you can increase.
I got.
But I think
I got it setting.
Too.
Yeah, I got it. Okay. Go ahead though, MOT. Now as for you, May, I cannot adjust your mic. I can't just adjust your mic because the echo.
Okay, well mine is turned all the way up.
Okay, yeah.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, it's way better.
Okay, I turned off echo cancellation.
Go ahead.
Yeah, well, I turned off echo cancellation, but you have to realize that most people don't like Obama. It's because he didn't turn his whole administration over to dumb niggas. They didn't realize that he's president of an 87% white rural-based fucking country, and dumb niggas wanted to be represented everywhere. Even though most of these people didn't vote, and they didn't vote afterwards, and they clearly not participating now. They just want the benefit of everybody else's work. They have to come first. Like I said, dumb nigga appreciation channels. You got those everywhere. And then you got the dumb nigga affirmative action that they want with everything that happens with blacks and everything in society. That's all it
is. Oh, shit.
Dumb nigga affirmative action is crazy.
It sounds bad.
It sounds marketable, unfortunately. I'm thinking about writing a book. Like, damn, that would sell. Straight up, because it captivates the ear with its salaciousness. It's like that's what it's about, salaciousness. But please proceed. I apologize for interrupting.
No, it's just at this point. This stuff is very easy to solve. Like me, like I have brothers and sisters who is just as crazy as these people in the manosphere. You know what I done? You know what the best revenge is? Make their kids more productive than they are. And move them out of their fucking house. And leave them dumb, miserable motherfuckers there by their goddamn selves.
Yeah.
That's the only thing you can do.
That'll do it.
The only thing you can do is correct the kid. And I'm not in their face and over their house. I'm correcting these motherfuckers over Xbox Live. I'm not going that close. I'm like, look, you want money. Yes. Drop this job, get a career, move out of the house. Women like mama who would accept people like daddy, bad outcomes. Shit, do you want to go through this shit that your mom and dad going through?
Parents, they get mad. They get mad, man. When somebody actually sponsors and cultivate a child from, a wayward household, and that child eventually develops the ability to leave and move on, those parents get salty. They are salty.
They do.
Seriously.
All right, so let me give you an example of what these kids go through once they get their shit together. They get emotionally fucked with by their parents. Next thing you know, the parents try to treat their kid like a sugar baby.
Everywhere.
Yeah. Try to treat their own kids who just got their money together like a sugar baby. Like kids got to buy purses, and I get to putting in on bills and shit. I get that, but having to buy all these material things, like this kid is on some house husband shit. Nah, man, get the fuck out of that environment, bro. And it's like.
So how do you teach them to sever the emotional attachment? Because it's not hard to say no unless you are entangled emotionally. If you're entangled emotionally, it's hard to say no.
No, it begins to be hard to say no, and then you provide them alternatives. Like, look, you got to spend as much time outside of this house as humanly possible. But before they actually even get the money, they got to be able to hide their money, 2 bank account style. you have 2 bank accounts. Because these motherfuckers,
yeah, but they can't do that forever. At some point, their parents are gonna know that they're successful.
No.
Oh, go ahead.
They're not gonna know. They're not gonna know. They're not gonna check. But you can't just be on some, okay, I feel better about myself. I gotta walk around, jump and fly, and needing all these cars and shit to make myself feel better, when the only thing you need is better circumstances to feel better. You don't have to externalize how much better you're fucking feeling when you living in an environment that's not good for you. I need to stress that point. When you're in an environment that's not good for you, it's best for you to keep your money, your productivity to yourself. When they ask you a question, say that you're struggling and almost about to get fired. They love hearing those type of stories.
Right. Just keep that narrative. Right.
Yeah. Keep that narrative,
because it's a very difficult role to play, but it's necessary to keep them off your back. You have to. You know, and so would it be crude for me to say just wait till they die? But
no,
that's kind of what it is, right? You're not
gonna
be able to enjoy money until they die.
No. Like if you wait till they die, then their kids live a tortured existence without any type of things until they die. Like if you don't get to these kids to get their mind right, they leave these circumstances and then they go to these similar circumstances in another situation. Like, you have to understand, as bad as it is, there are women who are looking to take advantage of dudes who just got their money together. And as well, there are men who would typically go after women who are not all that attractive and love bomb on them in the same way that a woman that ain't supposed to be with a dude would do. Like, this is a 2-part thing for both men and women that they both go through when they raise in these optimal circumstances.
Off topic, right? I knew this guy who's a gang member, and he fell in love with this girl that he claims saved his life in a gang fight. Like, apparently some guy had, was getting ready to shoot him in the head, and old girl came around and shot that dude, which prevented him from getting shot in the head. So from that day forward, according to hood politics, he had to take care of her. Keep in mind, this was, as you would say, a hood rat, right? And everything that comes with a hood rat. We talking about alcoholism, drug abuse, promiscuity, and really just no sense of domestic respectability. And he stood by her through thick and thin, right? And my whole thing, now this is a veteran, because when I go to the VA back in the day, like we're talking about like a decade plus ago, I would go to the VA on a regular basis, and in the waiting rooms and in group meetings, you hear all types of stories, but this one story stuck out because I'm thinking to myself, why are you obligating yourself to someone that can contribute nothing to your well-being? Why are you taking on this obligation? Because you quote unquote think she saved your life? She could have been anybody. Like, it was meant for you to live. That's all you need to be concerned about. And I was wondering if you all have an opinion about that. Like, do you think just because somebody stuck their neck out for you that you owe them for life? Is there such thing as owing somebody for sticking their neck out for you? Is there such thing as that? That was the question.
I don't know how to.
I brought up the example, but it could be any example. The question is, are you obligated to someone that sticks their neck out for you? Because in what MOT was saying, it's important for a child to be to get away from their dysfunctional parents. It's like, really, those parents could say that you owe them something, right? Like, I brought you into this world, you owe me. But see, here it comes with a scenario of someone outside of your family that sticks their neck out for you. Do you owe them something? Apparently, there are people in the world that think that, you know, an obligation matters. So, and that's why I was asking about the emotional attachment aspect. There are people that believe in emotional attachments equate to an obligation. Like I owe this person, even though they ain't shit, ain't never gonna be shit, never was shit. I owe this person. You know, like, is that a legitimate thing to consider in life, in this thing we call life? Should we tie ourselves down with obligations that we really don't have to?
No, it shouldn't be always the case, though, because the thing is, though, you know,
it's a case by case basis,
right? Because when we're talking about what MOT's talking about, and I see some of this before, where you have parents who is trying to anchor down their own children. They're anchor down their own offspring.
That child wouldn't exist if it wasn't for their parents. So isn't that an obligation?
Right. No. Because though, at some point though, that child needs to do what? Grow and populate and have babies, him or herself. So if you're getting in that child's way, when that person turns 17, 18 years old, between the ages 16 and 21, and you're getting in that child's way, that child should not be obligated to you at this point. Because at this point,
I know when my mother says happy birthday to me, I say, I couldn't have did it without you. You know, I always recognize that in some way I'm obligated to afford my best effort to my parents. My father is deceased, God rest his soul, but my mother's still living, thank goodness. It wasn't the ideal childhood. However, she had a lot of options to put me out the game, as they say. You know, like, let's be clear. When it comes to a parent raising a child, there are a lot of options along the way to disable that child, let alone take them out accidentally, intentionally, you know, and everything in between. So if a parent has gotten a child to, let's say, high school graduation stage, right? There is something to be said about the fact that in some way, if not ideal, in some way, that parent looked out for you. And I think now, I'm not talking about the really fucked up circumstances where, you know, somebody was abused all their life. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about just a regular schmegular dysfunction. You know, like, you know, you didn't get breakfast. You know, you had to figure out how to make your own fucking meals. And, you know, like, they fell by the wayside in terms of domestic responsibility. Nonetheless, the basics were provided. I'm talking about that shit. I'm not talking about these, you know, horror stories. In those circumstances where the basics were provided and you were not harmed, you know, you just had to figure out how to navigate the fact that your family crazy. It's like, it's annoying that my family's crazy, and that's the burden that you bear. growing up. It's like you growing up with the burden, like my family's crazy, as opposed to actually experiencing harm. This is what I'm discussing. So in that light, once you make it to where you have opportunities to provide and advance yourself, I think that parent deserves some credit for getting you to that point, that starting point. I really do.
Yeah, but you acting like okay, like what MOT is saying. You're acting like he that like those people that MOT is mentoring to or giving advice to should cater to the parent.
No, they shouldn't. They shouldn't cater to their whims. No, they shouldn't. They have to learn to tell, they have to establish boundaries. Like, look, what you're not going to do is call me at a whim because I got it like that. They have to establish boundaries, and that calls for intelligence. You have to know how to do that without severing, without hurting their feelings. It's like, what we're going to do is we're going to figure out what it is you're looking for from me. And since I got it like that, I'm going to give an allowance to you. This is what I'm going to, I would pay any bill. I'm going to give you this amount of money every month, and don't fuck with me after this. And that's the way you got to do it. Like, cause they're not going to stop. They're not going to stop ringing your phone. They're not going to stop, guilt tripping you and pressuring you. So you got to cut that shit off at the knees. Be like, okay, this is what I'm going to do with this mutually agreed upon amount every month, like it's a bill I'm paying off, and don't fucking talk to me unless it's an emergency. Period. We're going to say good morning. We're going to say good evening, get together for barbecues and, special occasions and, all that shit. But as far as you just randomly calling me up, like, I want to get a Louis Vuitton purse, and I think you owe me because I'm your mother. Hell no. You got paid this month. Get the fuck off my phone. That part.
Right. Angelica, you want to say something?
So kind of two things. Just me looking at it as a parent. I think if my child needed to pay me back, I would want it in them being whatever the best version of themselves is. Like, I wouldn't, for me personally, it's not about you need to give me something, call me for Mother's Day or whatever like that. But I don't inherently need anything, but that's just my perspective. I come from where I don't really need that way. But I can say that my ex-husband, his family was like that. And he would do for a lot of them because he could. And
on a whim. Yeah, that's okay.
But he did put up, I think he learned, because I guess he had been, because he was pretty successful before I met him. I think he learned how to create those boundaries, but he's still, because it's his family. Like, his sister would call, or his mom needed something. He had a brother that was sick, going to dialysis all the time. And, he would still do, but he would do when he felt like it, I should say. But they knew to call him. And, although I kind of looked at it like, they're always on your phone, they're always needing you for something. He still did. And I didn't want to, because you don't, as a partner, you don't want to be the one to be like, this is becoming problematic. They're always calling you, asking for something, needing money for something. They need you to buy them an Uber. They need a ride. They need money for bills.
All that impulsive shit. That's why I said a monthly allowance, and don't get off you know, just
I mean, I know he wasn't going to give them no monthly allowance for all these people because
why not? It adds up. You know, it's like intellectually speaking, just pick any month out of the year where he was imposed upon. He adds that up to what the amount was, and we're like, okay, in the month of June, you asked me, not you specifically, but you know, that family member asked him a specific amount of money for that month. Just announce that, like, in this month, this is what you requested of me in total. What I'm going to do is afford you that amount of money every month. And what you're not going to do is ask me for anything else. To me, that's intelligent. That's intelligent because it takes the stress off of these impulsive, you know, just, I feel like traveling, so I'm going to ask for a plane ticket type of phone calls. You know, I want to go see Cousin Wilbur and I ain't got the plane fare, so can you help me out? You know, those types of impulsive calls are annoying because you never know what they're going to wake up feeling. So just intellectually speaking, just tabulate what it is they ask for a particular month and give them that allowance every month if you can afford to do that, and just be done with it. Like, don't call me for nothing. You got your money every month.
I get it. I think
I'm done.
In certain retrospects that could work. I just, understanding his dynamic, that wouldn't have worked because he had a lot of siblings. And then on top of that, his mother. So that wouldn't have worked out for him. I think he found a way to, say no sometimes.
Well, I guess I'm referring to people that don't want to be bothered. But if you want to be bothered, like if you really want to provide for, you know, additional expenses, then that's different. But I'm talking about people that are just tired of being bothered with these, you know, with the insistence that because you got it like that, you should help me.
Just say no. Just say no.
Just say no.
Right.
Yeah, and I mean, even when it comes to, excuse me, my kids, right? Like, I want them to be self-sufficient, where they're able to take care of themselves, they're able to do the things that they want, travel, live the life that they've always wanted to, right? That for me is payback for all the effort and money, time, energy that I put into you, is to see you flourish.
Would it hurt your feelings if they didn't include you in these excursions?
No.
It's like, hey, Mom, you want to go to Fiji with us? And they don't do that. They don't tell you, you know, they just pop up on Instagram like, hey, we in Fiji. But they didn't even tell you they were going. Would that hurt your feelings?
I mean, tell me that you're going. I want to make sure that you're safe, but I don't want to be included.
Nah, they ain't told you nothing. You just find out on, you know, Instagram, Facebook, and whatever.
I would just be concerned that you didn't tell me you were going.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's the hardship of being a mother. Once your children are adults, that they don't even find the sense of courtesy to share their plans. You know, that's a very hard pill to swallow as a mother. It's like for instance, my own child did something, you know, extravagant, like really, really, you know, noteworthy. And I was like, when were you going to tell me that you were a keynote speaker, you know, at this function? When were you going to tell me that? I would have prepared to be there. I would have did this. I would, I'm just thinking about all these things I could have done to, not support. He didn't need the support, but just to, just to be there in person. And the fact that he didn't tell me that this is what he was doing, but this is what he told me later. He said, because this is just a stepping stone. The best is yet to come. I want you to be there when I'm at my best. That was just something I did. And so he smoothed it over for me, and I appreciate that. But at the time, before he explained that this is a stepping stone and, the best is yet to come, before he explained that, my feelings was hurt. I was like, why didn't you tell me you was a keynote speaker at this function? Oh my God. I just felt left out. I felt left out. And he assured me that, no, you weren't left out of anything, because this is just a stepping stone. What I will make sure you are aware of is when it's something more grand. So, any event, and this is for anybody listening now and in the future, if your children don't include you in things, it's because the best is yet to come. So just, rest your beautiful head about that, you mothers out there. Your children intend to do bigger and better things, and that may be the reason why they don't let you in on the small things. Even if it's something that you think is a big deal to them, they believe the best is yet to come, and they want you to be present for that event. So, be assured, mothers out there, your children love you. Be assured. Sorry to interject. I just want to say that to encourage people.
Yeah, I think that, the biggest job that we have as parents is to make sure that our kids do the things that they want to do in a meaningful way, that they're productive, that they're happy with their lives, that they're out here doing the things that they want to do and the things that they need to do in order to support themselves, right? So we're really here, especially when they become older, young adults, whatever, is to be a support system or even just a feedback loop for them to make sure that if they have any internal narratives that they want to get a second opinion on, that we're here for that. And the occasional, I need $1,000. Can you please help me? Type energy. But yeah, like I don't.
Nah, if my child needs $1,000, I'm gonna be pissed. I'm be like, why the hell don't you have your act together? Like, what's up with that? What's going on with you?
We're all adults. We go through things, especially when they're younger and they're getting established. I don't think that, having those moments is, especially when they're trying to get started early in their careers and things like that. There's still a lot that they don't know. And we're supposed to be that life support system for them. And I don't think that there's anything inherently wrong with that. You know what I'm saying? They could be in between jobs. They could have been furloughed, whatever,
No,
they need help.
Life happens. Yeah.
They need help. And that's what we're supposed to be here for, is to provide that help, even if that help comes in a conversation, if it does come in the case of you having to dip into your savings and send them some money for whatever, that's what we're supposed to be there for. And, for me, like my level of expectation, again, like I said earlier, the only thing I want, especially because my son, he's grown now, want for him, well, he's a young adult. I don't want to say he's like grown, but he's a young adult. And only thing I want for him is to be successful. That's it. I want him to do better, be better than me, and have the life that he wants.
But what about the petty stuff that our children want? I was at the Postal Service office the other day, and this woman was mailing off roller skates to her son. because he left them behind. And I know that sounds ridiculous, but you know, this is a woman that, you know, found it difficult to, I wouldn't say her mobility was messed up, but you know, she looked like she had better things to do. I'll put it that way. And we do things for our children that we wouldn't do for anybody else. Period. Like that child, her child, wanted those specific roller skates as opposed to, like, you know, wherever he is in the country, he could have purchased some new roller skates, or she could have sent him money even to get new roller. But he wanted those specific roller skates that he forgot to take with him, you know. And that just made me think. I was like, wow, that's a mother's love right there, because anybody that didn't have the heart that a mother has would have been like, man, listen, you better buy some new roller skates, you know. But that's what mothers do. I know I'm fashioning things for my son, you know, by hand, you know. And I'm getting his approval to find out if it's useful for him. And you know, it's just amazing. A mother's love is amazing. And when there are people like BGS disparaging it, it's disgusting. It's disgusting, literally disgusting, that men are so hyped. Those types of men are so hyped to disparage motherhood. It's like, are you kidding me? Are you serious? You know. So
yeah, I don't pay that shit any mind, to be quite honest. Like, I, you know, as much as I have a distaste,
but they're aggressing it. They're aggressing it, and unfortunately, they're influential. That's the not danger, but that's the issue. They are actually influential, and so somebody who is, as MOT would say, are looking for something to build their self-esteem upon. They're building their self-esteem upon these narratives that Black mothers are insignificant.
Well, I mean, they have to find out the long way, right? And even when it comes to the aspect of influence, because I think when I first halfway sort of got engaged in this conversation, my son was probably in middle school, and it was starting to come up in conversations with him and his friends, right? So, you know, I have firsthand experience to understand like that influence. I was concerned about it, and the best thing that I thought of and still do is to be a counter narrative to that. Because there is life outside of this, right? But if people, and even when it comes to these kids that we have that are young adults, if they opt into these narratives, they have to fucking find out the long way. And as parents, you got to let them fall on their fucking ass sometimes. You can't always be there to catch them, you know? So if you want to believe in the shit that people like BGS say, and, you know, even like hypothetically, if it was my son and he went out into the world and, you know, he would call me, Mom, I can't find a date, don't have a girlfriend, I don't know what to do. And he starts telling me about the shit that he was listening to online, I'd be the first one to tell him that that's your fucking problem, son. Maybe you should change. But if he doesn't change, he has to find out the fucking long way. He has to make the change for himself. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, you have to be a counter narrative, but if you have kids that buy into shit like that, you know, you do the best that you can, But you also tell them what's real. Like that shit's, it's not going to help you. You're going to suffer for it. But sometimes kids have to suffer in order to learn, oh yeah, maybe my parent was right when they said this thing. Oh yeah, I remember when my mom told me, and look where the fuck I'm at now. I need to do something different. I mean, again, especially when we're talking about our children and their young adults, they have to experience some shit to figure out what really works for them. And if the shit that they're listening to is consistently providing them with bad results, you have to be the parent to tell them that maybe it's the shit that you're fucking listening to. Maybe start there. Because until that shit ain't going to change for you. So, and even when it comes to, some of these younger boys that are, in their preteens, teenage, young adolescents, I think especially as mothers, you have to be a counter narrative to that. You have to be, because regardless of, what BGS or whoever else wants to say, like you have to be a good example for these boys.
Yeah, absolutely.
You have to also be willing and humble enough to say that I want you to want better than me. I want you to be with a woman that's better than who I am. I don't know.
Well, fathers shouldn't abandon their children. So,
I mean, they shouldn't, but they fucking do. They do. But what do you do after that? That's the question. Women know men will leave you with fucking kids, won't call, won't do none of that shit. A lot of us know it. A lot of us experience it. But what do you do after that, though?
After what?
After they leave.
Oh. Okay. That's so complicated because of the distress, the panic, how could this happen to me thing that a person has to ingest, like because of the birth control options available in this world, a woman has a child intentionally. There's rarely a such thing as a oops baby being delivered. If she's carrying that child to birth, she's doing it because there's something that she believes is worthwhile in which to do so. Now, does that mean that I think that the baby is going to bond me and this man, or I always wanted a baby? That's up to her. But having discovered that this guy just disappeared or has no intention of having, any type of connection with their own offspring, she realizes she got caught fucking a monster. And she has to figure out how to get back to normal, like her normal self, in order to concentrate and focus on raising that child. And that's really difficult. That is so difficult because every day what's in front of your face is what am I going to do? And you can be wealthy. Like you can have everything taken care of. But you're still looking at this situation like, I didn't intend for the father to not have anything to do with our child. How am I going to explain this? How am I going to play this off? That's the word I'm looking for. How am I going to play this off? That's very fucking stressful, man.
You don't. You don't.
How am I going to play this off? You can't play it off. You can't.
You don't.
You don't.
But what you do, because at the end of the day, if we're a woman that chooses to have a baby and the father leaves for whatever reason, because he don't feel like it, because he don't like your ass no more, because you don't want to sleep, whatever the fuck the reason is, you are allowed to have a moment to feel and process those emotions. For those of us that have been through that, it's a very real and surreal experience. But at the end of the day, you still have this baby. You still got to love on this kid. You know what I'm saying? You still have to do, because this kid is here. This kid did not choose to be here. And, for some of us, that decision comes maybe a little bit later to love on those babies, like if you're hurt for real. But you always have to remind yourself that this child did not have a decision in being on this planet. I was one part of that action, and there is a certain responsibility that I have to take regardless of what that motherfucker is doing. If he don't want to be here, if he chooses not to be here, that doesn't stop that baby from wanting love. That doesn't stop that baby from needing shit. That doesn't stop that baby from wanting to be held. It doesn't stop. You are a parent for the rest of your fucking life.
Yeah. And then here comes the narrative from these BGS types that would rather focus on the custodial mother as inadequate because she's the one that drove the father away. And that's not often the case. Nobody drove anybody away, and so they have resentments about child support and the family court. And I do admit the family court is kind of bogus on a lot of levels. However, this child has to be provided for. And there's a responsibility on that absent father's end that a lot of these men don't want to be doing. That's amazing to me. It's like, okay, you want to produce a child and walk away and get away with it. That's what you want to do. That's why these laws are here, because that's not right on an organic level, like on a cellular level. That's not right. It's like you don't get to do baby making things and walk away from the baby, brother. You don't get to do that. But let them tell it. They think it's their right to do that.
Listen, I'm not
mama's baby, daddy's maybe. And it's like, okay, you are the daddy. Now what? Well, I should still get to pick and choose when I feel like supporting the situation. No, you don't get to pick and choose because that mother doesn't get to pick and choose. That child needs to be affirmed. And you have a part to play in that. That's true. Yeah, that child needs to be affirmed.
That will pay their
and they want to leave that to the mother. What kind of bullshit is that?
They will still pay their child support every month and never show the fuck up.
And that's disgraceful.
And the thing is that as women, if you get into a situation like that, you have to be the fuck okay. There is a want and there and on a moral sense and on a sense of,
it's not only disgraceful, it's illegal. They go to jail for that bullshit. So the hell with them.
No, fuck they don't. There are
some of them
out here that all they do is pay child support. They don't show up for birthdays.
Oh, okay, yeah, that part. Yeah, they don't go to jail for not showing up to special occasions.
And that's the part that I think that as parents we want the non-custodial parent to do, is to be there. It's not just about the money. It's about all.
It's not just about the money. You're right.
The reality is that there are some men that just won't. There are some non-custodial parents that just fucking won't. This is just like when I'm talking to people, especially younger people, that are upset with family members, they're upset with their parents because, like, as you were mentioning earlier, their parents didn't do right by them, whatever the fuck. And the reality is that you have to come, either you're going to hold on and let that pain cripple you for your whole life and cripple the way that you're able to raise that child, or you say, you know what? I still got to push through this, because
I know a sexually irresponsible guy. He's a veteran, like all these veteran, waiting room stories I have. One of the stories is this guy that literally said, I fucked up having all these kids. He literally said that. He referred to his two daughters as witches, that's on some,
he got a little
some trickery. He had all this disparaging shit to say about primarily the rest of his children prior to the two that he married. He had two children with the first wife. No, yeah, just the first wife. Like the children he had with his first wife, they legit straight. But all the 8 children he had after that, he chalks it up to being a sex addict, and he fucked up having all them kids. That was his statement. I was like, ain't that bold? That's crazy.
He's honest about it.
He was seriously honest about it. And that's what veterans do. We sit down there and chew the fat and tell the truth and about ourselves. And I've heard some really, really outrageous perspectives. I just had no idea that it's a possibility that some guy who's a father is looking at their children that way. Like you just oops, I got caught fucking evidence. You just oops, I got caught fucking evidence. You know what I'm saying? That's the way he looks at it. Oops, I got caught fucking.
That gives you the indication of who he is as a person.
That of course he's the scum of the earth. But that's because he's a sex addict, a whoremonger, all this stuff that he confessed to, and self-confessed, and I guess he wanted people to know that people like him exist. I guess that was the reason, for his confession.
The parents of absentee, the parents that are raising children that have absentee parents, the other parent, whoever they are, know the shit. They already know it. They live it. They wake up, they see their child, they see half of that person in the face of their kid.
It's important to get the message out so these women don't have children with guys that have questionable character.
Well, people, they put on a front, they will future fake, they will give you their best face in order to gain access or whatever.
But when the mother looks back, she, like, for instance, and I'll speak for myself, there are things about my first husband. I don't have a child with my first husband. I could have had a child with my first husband had it not been for the miscarriage. That being said, looking back, there were indications that it wasn't going to work out, that I didn't pay attention to, let alone wanted to believe. And I do appreciate these platforms that, host panel discussions and where people can reveal nuggets of wisdom so that somebody somewhere out there is forewarned. It's important, because when you're in love, can't nobody tell you nothing. Like, they did this, and they did this, like, but I'm in love. They treats me good. I'm the one, all that kind of shit, right? And maybe by happenstance, serendipitously, they'll hear podcasts such as this. They'll hear a live stream where somebody says something, where they realize, they'll be like, that's not a coincidence. It was meant for me to hear that in this current situation where I'm so, ready to devote my life to this person without having actually recognized that I'm not absolutely assured of their character. And that's all I'm saying. I'm not, disputing that people would be better in hands with a suitable partner. That's not what I'm saying. All I'm saying is you have to develop a way to examine, what it takes to assure you that the odds are for you. You gotta, looking back and saying, damn, I can't believe I'm in this situation. He literally doesn't want to spend time with our child. You don't want to be in that situation.
Nobody
does. Yeah.
The reality is that a lot of people suffer through that experience, though. And I think for me, and I'm just saying this as a person that's had that same experience, you come to a point where it's either, do I sit with these feelings of what this person won't do, or do I love on this kid? And my answer to that was to love on my son.
Awesome.
That was my answer. I could at a certain point, and I'm not, don't get me wrong.
There's no such thing as depression. It's a choice to be enthusiastic about your responsibility. That's a choice. And in the best interest of that child, that choice needs to be made, because, as opposed to letting the circumstances overwhelm you into convincing yourself that you're depressed, and that's the excuse why you're not giving your parental all to your child. Like this depression, there's no such thing as depression. There are choices in life, and you can choose to prioritize your child despite the circumstances.
So I don't know if I inherently agree with that particular point, but what I will say is that it's not easy. Like every parent has a different experience. They come from different backgrounds. They have access to different resources. And I think all of those things shape the way that people have an outlook, for one, about the world and also about themselves. I think if anything, for people who have been not given the best prospects in life, that there should be resources for them to help them get on their feet, right?
As far as depression goes, that's okay. I make bold statements, right? When I say there's no such thing as depression, I'm referring to myself. And that's how I choose to live, only because I have discovered that there's this thing called nutritional deficiencies. I'm all about nutrition. And what I've discovered is that your resilience is greater strengthened when you're nourished. When you're not nourished properly, you're prone, not you, but a person may be prone to despair, thoughts of despair, ruminating on thoughts of despair. Like I'm ruminating on these thoughts of despair. And as it turns out, there's a nutritional deficiency involved. And once I'm replenished with that nutrient, it could be B vitamins, zinc, it could be anything. Once you start taking a bona fide, decent multivitamin, at least, I'm not talking about going overboard. investing in some damn supplement company. I'm talking about at least a bona fide, decent, not from Walgreens, damn multivitamin. You start realizing that your resilience is based on how well you're nourished. And that's why I say I don't believe in depression. That's the only reason why I said that. So I'm not discounting, anybody experiencing clinical evidence of anything. I'm not a physician. I'm just saying personally, what I have discovered is that when it comes to despair, my hedge against that is nutrition. That's all I'm saying. So I apologize.
I don't even disagree with that particular take now that you've clarified it. But even with that, like, there are studies out there that talk about like the importance of children having well-rounded meals, making sure that they have breakfast, like a healthy breakfast at that, every morning. So that way, when they show up to school, they're more cognizant and aware, awake, alert to receive and comprehend the information that they're being taught.
That's the thing.
So, like that evidence is there, but these are, what I'm saying is, we can eat healthy all we want, and we can have like fully supported immune systems, and have the mental clarity of like a 4-year-old or whatever. But if you're going through shit, you're still going through shit, right? And especially if you're in the process of raising children, and you're the sole provider of these kids, right? And it does take a toll on you emotionally. And I think that we should, have room and have grace for people in those moments, because it's not easy. My only pushback to that is, you can't let that hurt overwhelm you so much that you're handicapping yourself, especially as a parent. And I know that it's easier said than done. And I'm saying this from personal experiences, that we all go through shit, and we all come to those moments where it's like, why can't they just do the right thing by their children? The reality is that some people just don't want to. And they're pieces of shit for whatever the fucking reason is. And we have to learn as individuals that in order for me to be the best for myself and for this kid, I have to let that shit go. I have to. It's like a matter of survival. I've met people, I have siblings to this day that are still hurt because of my father not being in their lives the way that he was for me. And I completely understand how they feel, right? But I've also lived an experience where I had a son that from the onset, his father was not present, right? So I also understand the experience of wanting to have the other parent in that child's life, but they just refuse. They just simply refuse. It's not because you did anything. It's not because you were a bad person. It's just they didn't want to.
Yeah, that's a trip, because I too was the apple of my father's eye, and it escaped me that, well, he didn't have any outside children that I know of. However, my siblings, they picked up on the distinction, that I wouldn't say that I'm his favorite, but let them tell it, I was his favorite. And that's a trip, that must be a trip to be looking at your sibling like, oh, so he likes them more than me. What's wrong with me? I can't even imagine what that feels like, because I hadn't experienced that, but I would imagine that that's messed up. Yeah, so that's
not a good feeling to experience, Like I said, I have siblings that, my father recently passed in January, and I had to have a lot of conversations with some siblings that I haven't talked to for years. And a few of them, are still mad with me. Like they harbor contempt for me
because you were his favorite. Yeah.
Well, I wouldn't say his favorite. I was just the one that was there.
Okay.
Right. So, but yeah, but in that experience,
those siblings will try to get back at your ass in some type of way.
One of the things that I had to recognize is that as much as I can hold grace and I can have empathy for their experience, because I also understand it to a degree, is that at the same time, you can't hold me responsible for the actions of a man somewhere else. Right?
Right.
And I have to apply that same thinking when it came, before I got married, when my son was young. I had to, apply that same thinking in regards to his father. Like, am I still going to be hurt behind this shit, or am I going to raise this boy to be better than what he was or what he is? You know what I'm saying? So at some point, I think and I'm just speaking for women, we have to find a way to make the decision of how we want to show up in this world. And as much as some of these experiences hurt us, we also, especially if you have kids involved, you have to understand, like, okay, this situation is fucked up. They are not doing the right thing, but you can't what do they say? You can lead a horse to water, but you can't make him drink.
I think it's hard to pretend like their father is dead when they're not. And that's the conundrum. It's like, can I convince myself that his father is dead so that I can release all this emotional baggage and focus on this child? And that doesn't even work, because because that's not the scenario. It's not like, I gave birth to this child and their father got hit by a bus and died. Like, like you try to I'm just saying, like, I know this sounds kind of morbid, but I'm saying that I have no idea how a woman can escape I don't know if time is going to fix it. Like, convincing yourself that father doesn't matter while he's still alive is a trip.
How is somebody going to matter if they don't participate?
It's a trip because he's alive. If he was dead, like, it would be like, okay, he's dead, but he's alive and he's made a conscious decision to evade his own offspring over some most likely emotional bullshit. Like, I don't get along with his mama, so I'm not going to be there. Like, that's some emotional bullshit. Like, you would think
you don't
that
have to take that on either.
Pardon me?
You don't have to take that on either. Like,
no, you don't.
The justification that father is making for not being there is not your fucking problem. It is not your fault. It's not your fucking problem.
That's correct. That's how you handle it. Like, his, whatever he is not my problem.
It's not.
Yeah.
And you safeguard your kids holding that. You hold the fucking line. Because sometimes they'll want to pop up. Sometimes
people wish they were dead.
But the proof is in the fucking pudding. Right? It's about action. I can't move them differently unless the action is changed. That's it.
That's it. I think about that song, Papa Was a Rolling Stone. And all he left us was alone. And that's the reality for a lot of young boys. My father's intention is to leave me alone. That, at some point, a male child has to wrestle with that my father's intention is to leave me alone. And they're going to have to comfort themselves with that realization, no matter how we cater to them. And we can only prepare them with as much reinforcements of love and support, and the foundation of love and support that it takes to prepare them for when that comes crashing down. Like, it would appear, as time has passed, my own father's intention was to leave me alone. That's very hurtful. It wasn't circumstances, it wasn't situational, it was demonstrative. That man had every opportunity to include himself in my life, and he chose not to do it. So it would appear that his intention was to leave me alone. How am I supposed to process that as a child, as an adult? And so it's rough, and that's where mothers over cater to their sons. They coddle them, they baby them, they mommy them. And when it comes to a male child, I would advise not to mommy them. A man has, a boy has to grow into a man, and that entails developing independence. I'm not telling you this. I'm not telling you this. I'm just saying it out loud for the audience. A boy has to grow into a man, and mommying him interrupts that. So, I like to send out these little PSAs impulsively. So I apologize. That's just my personality. I hope you forgive me. Thanks for listening.
No, it's all good. For me personally, I don't try to figure out what, especially in regards to men, I don't try to figure out what their intentions are. I look at what they do, compare it to what they say, and then I make a conclusion. Like, all that shit that's happening between a motherfucker's ears is above me. You know what I'm saying? Like, I can't, especially if it's somebody random on the internet, don't particularly care about what your intentions or, what your thought process is. I just listen to what you say. I make those comparisons to your actions. And then that gives me the ability to make character judgments on a person, whether it be for good or for bad. That's it. That's all. And even when it comes to, if you're in an experience with an absent father, I look at your words and I compare it to your actions and I make a fucking conclusion. That is it. I don't give a fuck about your intentions. You can be sitting in your house, upset, really wanting to be a part of your child's life, trying to rationalize, is it appropriate for me to call? I know she's mad with me, whatever the fuck. I don't fucking care. I don't care. That is not my problem. That is yours. All I can go by is by the fucking actions. That's it. I used to be in that point where trying to figure out and understand and, oh, why can't he and all this other. And then one day I just woke up and I just stopped giving a fuck. I stopped giving a fuck, and I was so light as an individual, as a woman. I was so fucking light, just not sufficiently caring about how the next motherfucker felt, especially when it came to my son. Oh. Hold on, I gotta mute it. I'm probably gonna have to go, but go ahead.
No, that's cool. That's cool. Yeah,
I'm glad to end this live stream. So yeah. So 3 hours? Damn. Okay. Anyway, I'm ending
the live stream. X,
all right.
Triple X. Thanks for the time.
All right, then. Y'all have a good one.
You too. Stay safe and healthy and happy, everybody.
All right.
Okay, peace.
All right, peace. Bye. Yeah. Yeah, I had to put that other live stream on private because I'm about to whoop this nigga's ass. So I had to put that shit on private because that motherfucker need to mind his fucking goddamn business. But anyway, yeah, I'm gonna go back to sleep.
Is that what you were doing? I thought I heard you snoring.
Yeah. I dozed off for a minute. I apologize for that.
Well, I'll go because we started talking about completely some different shit, and that's not
what
the stream was about.
Yeah. That's went completely off topic. Whatever, but that nigga, I had to put that live stream on private. That nigga pissed me off. You better mind your fucking business. I get tired of them old niggas trying to defend daddy. Now get the fuck out the way. You need to start thinking for yourself, bitch. Who the fuck is you?
Yeah, I'm surprised that he went live about, because I mean it kind of ended on like a fine note, and he went back crying. I mean, he did get his ass tossed around a little bit by May and Femi. That shit was funny to me, but
you talking about AB, right? Yeah.
So I mean, I don't know. I mean, I told him to read the meditations. I guess he ain't trying to read.
He ran his back in the channel talking about the reason I'm the way I am because I'm trying to get in bed with you and shit. It's on his channel. Yeah, he's like,
even if that was the case, though, hypothetically, this is just a hypothetical. Even if that was the case, why the fuck is he worried?
Facts.
Why the fuck is he worried?
Yeah,
I would not be clocking another man's dick mileage because, like, I would not be concerned with that shit. Like, I get offended when I hear like men talking about like where the fuck a woman has been. Like, why are you counting the fucking miles on that bitch's odometer? Right. Why is that important to you in your fucking life? Like, go be a Mormon, find you a bitch, and then take a picture in that fucking crazy ass underwear so we can all sit back and laugh. At least you'll have a woman, right?
Right.
At least that. Like, stop worrying about what the next motherfucker is doing with their body.
Mm-hmm.
Are you the one that are you the one suffering with the, oh, I should have did better, I should have chose better, whatever the fuck?
Right.
Stop worrying about what the next motherfucker is doing with their body. I mean, imagine if you were raised, right? And your parents were like always trying to tell you what the fuck to do with your body. You're in school. Like, I mean, you at work and somebody trying to tell you, like, don't you get enough of that shit? Why the fuck on your off time do you have to worry about the most mundane, like, inconsequential fucking things?
Right.
But I gotta go. I have a graduation picnic to go to. So Thank you for letting me up and ramble. I appreciate it.
All right, then.
I'll talk to you later.
Yeah.
Bye.
All right, then. All right. Yeah, I'm going to jump on over here, y'all. I apologize. Kind of dozed off a minute. I was allowing them to talk. But anyway, BJS is a bitch. It's not really BJS. It's those niggas that surrounded him. I can't stand a bunch of niggas who suck another man's dick. I'm sorry. Y'all, talking about who's cowering and bitches. You niggas are bitches over there. Then you gonna go after Mike? Y'all went after Mike V and you went after MOT. And what y'all did to MOT, I knew y'all was gonna do that to me. Y'all always do that whole ass shit. But like I said, fuck y'all. Anyway, I'm a watermelon for so good. Anyway, I'm out. Y'all have a good one. Peace. I'm out. I'm tired, y'all.
I am not here to debate with anyone. I have devoted all of my adult life to this subject. I only debate with my equals. All others I teach.